Chapter 2161, The Dragon Clan of Onlookers. In Lin Moyu's plan, after dealing with the various clans, the final task was to handle the cosmic beasts. He knew that many cosmic beasts came from different realms and were not native to the Great World. Their existence was also a burden for the Great World. Previously, he couldn't figure out how to distinguish them, but now a few casual conversations gave him an idea. It seems that to solve this problem, I'll ultimately need to trouble the celestial dragon. The dragon pearl must be retrieved. Only then can I get the celestial dragon to help me. Lin Moyu had already thought of a method in his mind. Little Ox asked curiously from the side, "Master, you still haven't told Little Ox why you want to seal off the border area." Lin Moyu took a sip of tea and smiled. "It's a long story, involving the ancient Great War." Little Ox said, "I know about the ancient Great War. My blood inheritance contains some information about it. My ancestors participated in that war. At that time, we were a large clan, but almost all of us died in that war. But what does that war from so long ago have to do with us now?" It spoke without sadness, as the ancient war was too distant for it to empathize with. Little Ox's thinking was simple: eat well, drink well, sleep well, and then do whatever it wanted without constraints. This was its ideal ox life. If it could be more perfect, it would find a female ox and have a litter of calves. Lin Moyu said, "The Great World is about to end." Little Ox jumped up suddenly, its eyes wide open. "Master, don't scare the ox." Lin Moyu glanced at it. "I'm not scaring you. If we don't do something, the Great World will truly end soon. When that time comes, neither you nor I will escape death. Now the Great World faces both internal and external troubles. What I'm doing is solving the internal troubles of the Great World, then focusing all efforts on dealing with external threats." Seeing Lin Moyu's expression, Little Ox immediately became serious. Little Ox doesn't understand much, but Little Ox knows that the Great World is my home, and Little Ox can't be without a home. Moreover, Little Ox still wants to find many female oxen and have many little oxen. Reproduction was a mission ingrained in its bones, awakening along with its bloodline. Lin Moyu smiled. "Then do as I say. I believe the Great World can still be saved." Little Ox smiled. Little Ox believes in Master. Master is the best. Little Ox was quick to flatter. Whether it worked or not, flattery was never wrong. Lin Moyu changed the subject. "How much do you know about the celestial dragon in the border area?" Little Ox shook its head. "Actually, I don't know much. When my bloodline awakened, the celestial dragon was already there. We all know the celestial dragon is from the dragon clan, but no one dares to mention it. The celestial dragon greatly dislikes the dragon clan. Little Ox referred to meant those cosmic beasts that had already awakened intelligence. Little Ox's bloodline was very ancient, traceable back to ancient times. The fact that it had survived until now proved that Little Ox's clan had once been powerful. As far as Lin Moyu knew, cosmic beasts had indeed participated in the wars of ancient times, and countless cosmic beasts had died then. Later, when it was discovered that people from the Black Blood realm could control cosmic beasts, Lin Moyu had once considered exterminating all cosmic beasts. But now it seemed that shouldn't be the case. Just as alien races should be divided into friends and enemies, cosmic beasts should also be distinguished between native and foreign, not lumped together. For humans and the Great World, severing karma was an enormous plan that couldn't be perfect from the start. It could only be changed step by step as events unfolded. Lin Moyu's voice became quiet and calm. "Little Ox, do you know about the Dragon Clan?" Little Ox mooed. "I know a little bit, but not much." "Tell me about it." Little Ox possessed partial blood memory, so it knew some extremely ancient matters. Lin Moyu was just probing, and indeed, it did know something. At this moment, Little Ox felt that this master seemed quite nice, quite amiable when not fighting and killing. Little Ox actually loved to chat. Having gained intelligence, it spent all day with a bunch of unintelligent creatures and couldn't find a female ox. It spent most of its time sleeping and was actually very bored, very much enjoying finding someone to talk to. The Dragon Clan probably isn't native to the Great World. In the memories of my ancestors, they greatly respected the Dragon Clan, but no one knew why the Dragon Clan came to the Great World. It seems that at that time, humans and dragons often interacted, but gradually grew apart later. Maybe it was because the Dragon Clan didn't help humans during the ancient Great War. Especially in the recent tens of thousands of years, the Dragon Clan has basically gone into seclusion, rarely seen. From Little Ox's description, Lin Moyu vaguely sensed the special nature of the Dragon Clan. He had long suspected that the dragon clan wasn't actually native to the Great World. During the ancient Great War, the dragon clan indeed didn't intervene. If the dragon clan were truly native to the Great World, they would have had no reason not to act. They seemed more like bystanders, clearly in the Great World yet only coldly observing, never interfering in the affairs of the Great World. The survival or destruction of the Great World had nothing to do with them. But if the dragon clan wasn't native to the Great World, why did they come to the Great World? Then there was the insect clan. The dragon clan and insect clan were at odds, seemingly having a grudge. The insect clan likewise wasn't native to the Great World. Lin Moyu felt that the Great World seemed to still have many secrets he didn't know about, and his own small world similarly had secrets. At least the matter of the God Tower was still a mystery until now. Given the chance, he planned to go back to the small world to take a look. He couldn't return, as Antares had warned him not to go back. But looking from afar shouldn't be a problem. Half a month later, the warship finally arrived at the Xuanwu Star region. Hao Shungjun had long been waiting there, with over 1,000 warships neatly floating behind him. Each warship had the ability to navigate deep space. In front of the warship stood various Divine Venerable, all high-level Divine Venerable. Lin Moyu bowed to everyone. Junior pays respects to Hao Shungjun and all the seniors. These Divine Venerable had serious expressions and didn't smile, only slightly nodding to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu could sense that the aura around them was unusual, unlike soldiers or ordinary cultivators from families. Hao Shungjun chuckled, "Don't be surprised, they're always like this. These are the private troops I've personally trained for my family. In terms of combat power, they surpass ordinary cultivators, and they can form battle formations. Even facing transcendent realm opponents, they can still fight." Hao Shungjun wasn't alone, he had a family and several disciples. This was common knowledge. Not just Hao Shungjun, but other Venerable were the same. Lin Moyu wasn't surprised, he just hadn't expected Hao Shungjun to deploy his family's private troops this time. Hao Shungjun continued, "These people are absolutely loyal to me and won't leak information, so you can rest assured." So that's why Hao Shungjun had dismissed others and used his own private troops instead. It had to be said, he had thought it through very carefully. Lin Moyu didn't stand on ceremony either, getting straight to the point, "I have a team here that I plan to put under your joint command. We'll split into 2 routes and sweep through simultaneously. Those alien race people can leave, but the star systems can't be moved." Under Hao Shungjun's gaze, Lin Moyu called out Little Ox. Chapter 2162, 2162. Chapter 2162, Such a Cute Little Ox. Hao Shungjun had long known that the army of cosmic beasts was actually under Lin Moyu's command. Unexpectedly, Lin Moyu did not directly manage them but let a cosmic beast of the other shore realm handle it. When the little ox saw Hao Shungjun, it immediately greeted respectfully, "Little Ox greets Lord Shungjun. I wish Lord Shungjun well. My ancestors once fought alongside the ancestors of the human race. I never thought I would have the chance to fight alongside Lord Shungjun now. This is inheriting the glory of my ancestors. The little ox is thrice blessed. Please rest assured, Lord Shungjun. The little ox will definitely follow orders. Wherever you point, the little ox will charge without a second word." This flattering manner was both amusing and exasperating. Hao Shungjun, not one to hit a smiling face, also smiled and said, "Hello." Lin Moyu patted the little ox's head, signaling it to shut up. The little ox immediately closed its mouth and said nothing more, looking as obedient as could be. Lin Moyu said, "I'll leave the little ox to you, senior. During this sweep, there might be Shungjun from the Black Blood realm appearing, so you must be careful." Lin Moyu briefly explained the situation in the Wonk Star region, which had already been detailed in the Flying Sword Talisman. Hao Shungjun sneered, "I just hope they come. If they dare to come, they won't leave." Hao Shungjun had long been prepared, eagerly hoping that the Shungjun from the Black Blood realm would come. Lin Moyu nodded, not needing to say more, and instead asked, "Where is Xiao Wu?" Xiao Wu and Hao Shungjun were always inseparable, even closer than she was to her master. It was strange not to see her this time. Hao Shungjun said, "Xiao Wu is cultivating in my rule world. She said she wants to quickly improve her realm to help you." Lin Moyu smiled, "That little girl is quite thoughtful." Xiao Wu had excellent talent, but Lin Moyu did not think she could actually help him. As long as Xiao Wu was happy, that was enough. Hao Shungjun suddenly raised an eyebrow, "Xiao Wu is awake. In front of him, a phantom light appeared, and Xiao Wu flew out from it in a flash. As soon as she came out, Xiao Wu rushed towards Lin Moyu and clung to him like a koala. Master is finally back. Xiao Wu missed you so much. There was a special bond between master and servant. Xiao Wu was very dependent on Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu was shocked, not because Xiao Wu was clinging to him, but because of her realm. Unknowingly, Xiao Wu had become a high-level divine venerable. Although her aura was not very stable, as she had just become a high-level divine venerable not long ago. But Xiao Wu's realm had caught up with her master. Lin Moyu remembered when Xiao Wu had just reincarnated as a human, her realm was only at the true god level. It hadn't been that long. Hao Shungjun said, surprised, right? I was too. I don't know what the two celestial venerables left for Xiao Wu, but she can advance with just a little cultivation. At this rate, she might become another Shore realm in a few years. In 50 years, she could very likely become a Shungjun. The things left by the celestial venerables were too good and very suitable for Xiao Wu. Her cultivation speed was faster than light. Lin Moyu knew the inside story. In her previous life as a human, Xiao Wu was the beloved of the two celestial venerables. Even after becoming a spirit, the illusory mist celestial venerable still treated Xiao Wu very well. Not only the illusory mist celestial venerable, but also the holy talisman celestial venerable treated Xiao Wu well. Although they were gone, it was natural for them to leave something for Xiao Wu. Xiao Wu finally had enough of clinging to Lin Moyu and suddenly noticed the little ox. Wow, such a cute little ox. She flew to the top of the little ox's head and sat down boldly, holding onto its horns, clearly treating the little ox as a mount. The little ox was unhappy but didn't dare to say anything. It could see that the relationship between Xiao Wu and Lin Moyu was special, and such people couldn't be offended. Xiao Wu happily said, "Little ox, what's your name?" The little ox replied in a muffled voice, "Just call me Little Ox, or you can call me Ox Lord." Xiao Wu responded, "Little Ox is so cool. I'll give you my favorite toy later." The little ox was depressed. "I'm a cosmic beast of the other shore realm, why would I want a toy, this little brat?" At this moment, Xiao Wu was already shaking the ox's horns, as if she was controlling the little ox. The little ox wanted to shake Xiao Wu off, but it received a warning from Lin Moyu. "Xiao Wu likes you, so let her ride for a while." The little ox mooed, not daring to disobey Lin Moyu's words. Xiao Wu patted the little ox's head, "Little ox, don't worry, Xiao Wu will protect you." The little ox was speechless, "You're just a high-level divine venerable, I could kill you with one breath, do I need your protection?" Hao Shungjun said, "Then we'll make our move first. What about you?" Lin Moyu said, "I'll go to the White Tiger Star region to intercept the alien races. Eventually, I'll go to the Vermilion Bird Star region, to the front line." Hao Shungjun smiled, "All right, see you at the front line then." Lin Moyu had already arranged the plan. Hao Shungjun would sweep and chase, not to exterminate, but to kill as many as possible. In fact, it was more of a drive, gathering the various races together and then exterminating them. When Lin Moyu reached the front line and joined all the Shungjun of the human race, they would engage in a great battle with the 100 Races Alliance. This battle would completely establish the victory of the human race. After thoroughly defeating the 100 Races Alliance, the various races would inevitably flee. With the border area sealed, they wouldn't be able to escape and would only wait to die within the domain. Only a few strong races would have the ability to break through the border area's blockade and escape to the outer domain. At that time, the human race would focus all their efforts on preventing their escape. Lin Moyu had long planned for this. Unknowingly, Lin Moyu had become the behind-the-scenes manipulator of this great battle. The entire battle rhythm was playing out according to his script, and so far, there had been no mistakes. Even the sudden intervention of the Black Blood realm hadn't changed the overall situation. Hao Shungjun and Lin Moyu bid farewell and went their separate ways. Although Xiao Wu was a bit reluctant, the presence of the little ox made her very happy. Xiao Wu, still a child at heart, was easily distracted. The warship re-entered deep space, heading towards the White Tiger Star region. That was Lin Moyu's battlefield. His and Hao Shungjun's actions would be the last operation before the great battle. The relocation of the various races was in full swing. The 100 Races Alliance had dispatched a large number of divine venerables to move their star systems. The final destination of the various races was between the Demon race and the Golden Eagle race. Here, they could be protected by the strong of the two races, relatively safe. Fortunately, the current starry sky was vast, with far fewer star systems than in ancient times, providing enough space to accommodate them. The relocation started smoothly until Hao Shungjun and Lin Moyu began their actions. Hao Shungjun struck first, leading a group of high-level divine venerables and the cosmic beast army of the Little Ox, starting a frenzied pursuit of the relocating races. The stance was very aggressive, as if they wanted to exterminate them all. It seemed that the human race didn't want the various races to relocate, so they pursued and killed them. The 100 Races Alliance responded by having their Shungjun and other Shore Realm experts keep a close watch on the human Shungjun and other Shore Realm. At the same time, 2 Shungjun from the Black Blood Realm headed towards Hao Shungjun's team. Meanwhile, near the White Tiger Star region, alien race teams relocating were silently disappearing. Clouds churned, and the skeletal hell, seemingly real and unreal, turned into an invisible mouth, devouring countless lives. Chapter 2163, 2163. Chapter 2163, almost tripped up in the gutter. Among the demon race, a lava planet burning with raging flames suddenly exploded, and a terrifying demon with 3 pairs of wings flew out from the flames. The demon lord's face appeared in space. Soul Devourer, follow the guidance of the abyssal demon eye to this location. A demon eye flew out and landed in Soul Devourer Demon Lord's hand. Soul Devourer Demon Lord was the 4th demon lord of the demon race, and also the strongest among the 4 demon lords. If anyone could compare to the celestial venerable of the human race, it would be him. Even among the 100 races, among the 10 venerables, he was the strongest. In fact, there were more than 10 venerables among the 100 races. The 3 Silver race once had a venerable, but unfortunately, that venerable died the earliest. In terms of true strength, the 3 Silver race was not as strong as the Ox Demon race, but they had a larger population than the Ox Demon race and were more high profile. So everyone knew the 3 Silver race was strong, while the Ox Demon race wasn't listed among the strong races. In fact, the consistently neutral Ox Demon race was slightly stronger than the 3 Silver race. Soul Devourer Demon Lord accepted the Demon Lord's order and flew towards the destination at top speed. Lin Moyu was completely unaware of this and continued to manipulate the skeletal hell, devouring people from the 100 races. Hao Shungjun was doing the same thing as Lin Moyu, only his actions were much more noticeable. His Divine Venerable Private Army, plus Little Ox's Cosmic Beast Army, was unstoppable along the way, with no one able to resist. Hao Shungjun stood in space, looking into the distance. In the far reaches of space, 2 crimson bloodlines were rapidly approaching. Hao Shungjun's face showed a cold smile. They've finally come. Just as Lin Xiaoyu said, it's the venerables from the Black Blood Realm. These bugs have been hiding for so many years, and have finally started to show themselves again. In that battle years ago, after layer upon layer of analysis, Lin Moyu had deduced that the Great World may have ultimately won. But at that time, the Great World had suffered heavy damage, causing various celestial venerables to leave. As the losers, the Black Blood Realm disappeared, with some people from the Black Blood Realm remaining in the Great World. They hid themselves, like bedbugs, not daring to show themselves. This time, they finally couldn't resist taking action. Perhaps they also realized that if they didn't act now, there would be no more chances. Regardless of the purpose of the Black Blood Realm's hiding, they would forever be enemies with the human race. This point would not change. Facing the 2 bloodlines racing towards him, Hao Shungjun directly expanded his rule world to meet them. Not far away, his army was still in a great battle, and Little Mist was still happily playing on Little Ox's head. Even if it was just the aftermath, a battle between venerables would affect them. Arranging the battle in the rule world was naturally the best choice. Hao Shungjun's virtual rule was silent and imperceptible, even venerables would find it difficult to detect. As the virtual rule world expanded, the scenes inside moved with his will, directly projecting space, as if it didn't exist. The 2 venerables from the Black Blood Realm, without detecting anything, directly rushed into the rule world. By the time they realized something was wrong, they were already inside the rule world. Bringing enemies into one's own rule world was quite a dangerous move. If the rule world was damaged, for a venerable, it would result in serious injury at best, and death at worst. However, Hao Shungjun had absolute confidence. 2 bugs, hiding for many years, finally have the guts to come out. Hao Shungjun's voice rang out, and he himself also entered the rule world. The gates of the rule world had already closed. If the venerables from the Black Blood Realm wanted to leave, they would have to kill Hao Shungjun, otherwise it would be impossible to get out. You're seeking death. The two black blood venerables stared coldly at Hao Shungjun, simultaneously drawing their long swords. The strong from the black blood realm loved to use long swords the most, their swords were incomparably sharp, carrying the unique aura of the black blood realm. Countless bloodlines spread throughout the Rule World, turning into bloody lightning, rumbling incessantly. The nauseating smell of blood became stronger and stronger, as if it would pollute Hao Shungjun's Rule World. Hao Shungjun ignored the bloodiness, coldly snorted, "You lost back then, and you'll lose again this time." The two black blood venerables exchanged a glance, their forms simultaneously disappearing, appearing beside Hao Shungjun as if teleporting. The sword light was incomparably sharp, as if it would tear the Rule World apart. Hao Shungjun's form shattered, he wasn't actually there, what the two had slashed was just an illusion. Virtual rule, seeming illusory yet real, true and false hard to distinguish. The Rule World rumbled, descending with overwhelming power, suppressing the sword light. This was Hao Shungjun's world, Hao Shungjun's power could be greatly enhanced here. The methods cultivated by the strong from the black blood realm were different from those of the Great World, they didn't have Rule Worlds but they had incomparably sharp power. They also didn't have so many ways and techniques, they only walked one path, which was to push power to the limit. Hao Shungjun appeared in midair, taking out a colorful ball, with rules spreading all over it, containing all kinds of rules, looking extremely complex. The rule ball exploded, bursting out with a sky full of colors, waves of laughter transmitted from the colors. Star Elder appeared, his large hand pressing down virtually, countless rules instantly converged into a palm, pressing down towards one of them. An ancient talisman appeared in Hao Shungjun's palm, the talisman flashing with light, also a palm striking towards the other person. The two black blood realm venerables coldly snorted, their long swords bursting out with a sky full of blood light, not retreating but advancing, wanting to shatter the palms. Suppress! Hao Shungjun roared, the ancient talisman instantly became stronger, falling like a mountain, like a prison. Amidst screams, that venerable's whole body burst with blood, flying backwards. At this moment, another scream rang out, the black blood venerable facing Star Elder was also slapped flying, looking even more miserable. Hao Shungjun coldly smiled, "This is the Great World, not your black blood realm, here, you have no chance." Star Elder chuckled, "Little Hao is not bad, these years haven't been wasted, your strength has greatly improved." Hao Shungjun said, "Thanks to Lin Xiaoyu's blessing, my ancient talismans have been strengthened quite a bit." Hao Shungjun's virtual rule was good at defense but not offense, his attacks all relied on ancient talismans. Lin Moyu had connected several secret realms in succession, allowing the human race to obtain several ancient talismans. And he had also passed the complete first to third level ancient talismans to Talisman Venerable. After Talisman Venerable comprehended them, he had strengthened Hao Shungjun's ancient talismans. Hao Shungjun's combat power had risen sharply compared to before. The two black blood venerables flew up again, quickly approaching each other, and finally touched. Strangely, the two actually fused together, merging into one person, their aura rising sharply. Star Elder coldly snorted, the black blood realm's fusion technique, in ancient times it once caused the human race quite a bit of trouble. But now, it's useless. He glanced at Hao Shungjun, and Hao Shungjun understood, taking out a talisman plate. On the talisman plate was drawn a complex ancient talisman, the talisman activated, the ancient talisman flashed with light and flew out, then exploded. A huge and terrifying soul impact swept out, the two black blood venerables who had just completed fusion groaned, once again splitting into two. The human race had suffered from the black blood realm's fusion technique before, naturally they had thought of countermeasures. As long as soul impact was used, and it reached a certain intensity, it could make the fusion technique fail. The soul impact just now, although it couldn't cause much damage to them, was enough to affect the fusion technique. With the fusion technique failing, one of the black blood venerables suddenly teleported to appear beside Hao Shungjun, slashing down with another sword. The ancient talisman in Hao Shungjun's palm jumped, he struck out with a palm to directly clash with the long sword. At this moment, Star Elder suddenly shouted, "Be careful." The other black blood venerable raised his long sword high, countless bloodlines bursting out from the long sword, exploding with a rumble. The long sword self-destructed, the huge power impact shaking the Rule World. The entire Rule World became unstable, simultaneously affecting Hao Shungjun. Hao Shungjun's eyes lost their luster, His power rapidly declining, the just activated ancient talisman also disappeared in an instant. At the cost of self-destructing the long sword, affecting Hao Shungjun for a moment, allowing his companion to deliver a fatal blow. The sword reached his eyes, but Hao Shungjun still had no reaction. Clang! With a crisp sound, a large palm appeared between the sword and Hao Shungjun. Star Elder had arrived in time, blocking this sword for Hao Shungjun. The palm only lasted for half a second before shattering on the spot. Hao Shungjun finally came to his senses half a second later. The ancient talisman suddenly exploded, blasting the black blood Venerable away. Star Elder's laughter rang out, almost tripped up in the gutter. Huh! These bugs from the black blood realm still have some tricks up their sleeves. Chapter 2164, 2164. Chapter 2164, Star Elder's Technique, Chaotic Star Realm. Hao Shungjun hadn't expected the Black Blood Shungjun to have this move up their sleeve. Self-destructing their weapon, shaking his rule world, and thereby affecting him. The two Black Blood Shungjun cooperated seamlessly, nearly causing him to suffer. That sword strike could sever Star Elder's palm, and it could likewise sever his body. It wouldn't kill him, but injury would be unavoidable. I underestimated them. Hao Shungjun revealed a smile, taking out a talisman plate and activating it. Runes transformed into 5-colored light falling on his body, forming a 5-colored armor. With this armor's protection, Hao Shungjun's safety was assured. However, rune plates were difficult to make, and Hao Shungjun originally didn't want to use them, but now it seems safety came first. No one knew what other tricks the Black Blood Shungjun might have up their sleeves. After all, they had fought against the human race before. Just as the human race had ways to break their fusion technique, they likewise had methods to deal with rule worlds. Star Elder's palm quickly reformed. As a clone, losing a palm was no big deal for Star Elder. The Black Blood Shungjun who still held a sword pulled on his weapon. The sword split in two, from one becoming two, and he handed one to his companion. The two Black Blood Shungjun stood shoulder to shoulder, as if everything had returned to the beginning. Star Elder chuckled, the Black Blood realm indeed has some skill. This old man won't be polite then. Little Hao, stabilize your rule world well, don't let it get shattered. Hao Shungjun's expression turned serious, do as you please, Elder. Star Elder clasped his palms together, immediately erupting with brilliant light. In the originally illusory rule world, a multicolored blazing sun suddenly appeared. This blazing sun was composed of countless laws, simultaneously emitting cold and heat, ice and fire, with thunder and yin wind lacking nothing. Various laws appeared simultaneously, filling the rule world. Laws collided, sublimated, and for a time the entire rule world was rumbling, shaking incessantly. These laws collided, conflicted, and fused with each other, instantly performing myriad transformations. Vast power swept out from within, rolling towards the two Black Blood Shungjun. The Black Blood Shungjun's forms disappeared, but immediately reappeared. They had been forcibly blasted out. They were fine if they didn't move, but as soon as they made the slightest movement, the laws around them became extremely chaotic, and countless explosions engulfed them. Star Elder chuckled, Little Hao, how's the effect of this old man's chaotic star realm? Hao Shungjun was exerting all his effort to maintain the stability of the rule world while responding, your chaotic star realm is more powerful than before. Star Elder was slightly smug, not only is it more powerful, but it also has some new functions. Today I'll let you appreciate them. As Star Elder's words fell, countless stars appeared in the rule world. Each star wasn't large, only about 10 meters in diameter. But they were numerous, and as soon as they appeared, they began to shine brightly, evolving into a star realm. They formed a starry world, interwoven to envelop the two Black Blood Shungjun within. Even more violent explosions occurred inside the starry world, and Star Elder's attacks became increasingly fierce. However, all the attacks didn't leak out, but were absorbed and circulated within the starry world. Hao Shungjun's pressure actually lessened. Amidst the explosion sounds, faint screams could be heard. The bloody smell became even more intense. As the master of the rule world, Hao Shungjun was clear about the internal changes. Star Elder's chaotic star realm lasted for a full minute. After a minute, the realm dissipated and the stars vanished. The two Black Blood Shungjun had been blasted beyond recognition, their black robes in tatters, without a single piece of intact flesh on their bodies. The people of the Black Blood realm originally looked like dried corpses, but now they looked like shattered corpses, completely tattered. Only a pair of eyes still flashed with a fierce light. Star Elder sneered, not bad, to actually survive this old man's chaotic star realm without dying. The black blood bugs indeed have tenacious vitality. Hao Shungjun said, according to records, the people of the black blood realm have extremely powerful vitality. It's indeed so. Hao Shungjun had fought with people from the black blood realm before. That person suspected to be a Jurjun was extremely difficult to kill. These two before him were the same. Even Star Elder's technique couldn't kill them. Star Elder said, but no matter how strong, there's a limit. Being able to endure one round is already the limit. Seeing Star Elder about to make another move, Hao Shungjun said, leave it to me. He took out another talisman plate. Vast power appeared in the rule world, and the power of virtual realm rules pressed towards the two. Under the virtual realm rules, the two's bodies began to gradually virtualize. They were dissolving, being assimilated by the virtual realm, truly becoming nothingness. This was Hao Shungjun's ability. The virtual realm rules could virtualize enemies. When enemies completely changed from real to virtual, it also meant they were dead. The black blood Shungjun exchanged a glance, the fierce light in their eyes intensifying. The two's power suddenly erupted, raising countless bloodlines. The bloodlines condensed into blood pillars, as if about to break through the rule world. The talisman plate in Hao Shungjun's hand activated. The ancient runes in the plate exploded, transforming into soul impacts sweeping out. The towering blood pillars were immediately interrupted. The two black blood Shungjun's eyes rapidly dimmed, losing their luster for a moment. Hao Shungjun said, the strong from the black blood realm often self-destruct before death, perishing together with their enemies. Many Shungjun in the past died from their self-destruction. But like their fusion technique, their self-destruction can be interrupted. With the self-destruction interrupted, under the erosion of the virtual realm rules, the two black blood Shungjun's bodies became increasingly virtual, and their lives came to an end. Lin Moyu transformed into the ghost race, silently devouring the various races that were relocating. He was even somewhat aimless, sweeping through and not pursuing to the end. As long as you fled fast enough, you could survive. Gradually, news of the ghost race's reappearance spread. Everyone knew that wherever the ghost race went, not a blade of grass would grow. But the ghost race didn't target anyone for pursuit and killing. They wandered through various star regions, appearing and disappearing unpredictably, without pattern. But the more it was like this, the more it made the various races panic. Soon they even lost the desire to relocate, not wanting to take their planets, only wanting to flee for their lives. Many people abandoned their planets and began to flee. Lin Moyu manipulated the skeletal hell, swallowing a star system, his gaze looking into the distance. Hao Shungjun should have engaged in battle by now. I wonder how the situation is. Hao Shungjun was prepared early on. With the advantage of foreknowledge, there shouldn't be any problems. Based on his understanding of Hao Shungjun, those two black blood Shungjun were very likely to die. Lin Moyu suddenly retracted his gaze, looking towards the distance, a smile appearing at the corner of his mouth, finally here. In his undead vision, in the distant starry sky, a blazing soul flame was rapidly approaching, at an extremely fast speed. Judging from the speed and intensity of the soul flame, the other party's realm could be determined, undoubtedly Shungjun level. The fourth Shungjun of the demon race, the legendary strongest one, Soul Devourer Shungjun, you've finally come out. Legend has it that Soul Devourer Shungjun was born with the ability to devour souls, and can strengthen himself by devouring the souls of the strong. Information about Soul Devourer Shungjun simultaneously appeared in his mind. In the Human Emperor Network's data, Soul Devourer Shungjun's threat level was even above that of Abyss Shungjun. Abyss Shungjun was treacherous, while Soul Devourer Shungjun was terrifying and cruel. Lin Moyu had anticipated Soul Devourer Shungjun's arrival. Now among the various races, the only Shungjun they could deploy was Soul Devourer Shungjun. If he didn't come, then it would be Eagle Emperor or Demon Lord coming. The skeletal hell dissipated, and Lin Moyu also merged into the starry sky, disappearing without a trace. By the time Soul Devourer Shungjun arrived, Lin Moyu had long since vanished. Chapter 2165, 2165. Chapter 2165, we can't let them get stronger. Lin Moyu anticipated that a Shungjun would come, and it was most likely Soul Devourer Shungjun. The result was as he expected, it was indeed Soul Devourer Shungjun. Facing the top expert among the Shungjun, Lin Moyu had the ability to kill him, but there was no need. In the past, he would have used his trump card without hesitation. But now, he couldn't use his trump card. The corpse of the Supreme Lord of the Mountain Forest, which could kill a Supreme, must be reserved for the battle realm. Although Soul Devourer Shungjun was strong, he was not worthy. Without using his trump card, Lin Moyu did not want to engage with Soul Devourer Shungjun. He was confident in protecting himself against Soul Devourer Shungjun, but he had no way to deal with him, so fighting was unnecessary. Lin Moyu left, using a concealment talisman to stealthily disappear without a trace. After silently traveling billions of kilometers, Lin Moyu took out his warship and flew tens of light years away from deep space. With a buffer distance of tens of light years, even if Soul Devourer Shungjun came, he would have enough time to leave calmly. A Ghost Clan member should behave like a Ghost Clan member. In the starry sky tens of light years away, Lin Moyu reappeared, roughly determining a direction and locking onto a location. There was a star system there, but Lin Moyu wasn't sure which race it belonged to. There were more than 20 races in this starry sky, all of them members of the 100 Races Alliance, which meant they were enemies of the human race. So no matter how Lin Moyu killed, he wouldn't kill the wrong target. The skeletal hell appeared silently, and within half a second, the dense fog engulfed the star system. Screams continuously came from the fog, and the skeletal hell was like the Grim Reaper, leaving no survivors. The containment talisman array followed, packing up the entire star system. Soul Devourer Shungjun received information from the Abyssal Demon Eye and rushed over immediately. But by the time he arrived, Lin Moyu had already left without a trace. This happened twice more, and Soul Devourer Shungjun was so furious that flames erupted from his body, and he roared continuously. He realized that the other party was just playing with him, avoiding direct confrontation. Soul Devourer Shungjun's roars shook the starry sky, echoing through souls and spreading far and wide. Even Lin Moyu, who had already left, heard the roars. From the sound, it was clear that Soul Devourer Shungjun was almost driven mad with anger. Lin Moyu, disguised as a Ghost Clan member, was like a shadow of death hovering over the various races. The races began to panic, abandoning their star regions and fleeing quickly with their people. Facing death, even their homes were no longer important. The gods of the various races, who were used to enjoying life, had never been so embarrassed. These gods, who had cultivated for thousands of years, now had to flee for their lives. But countless lives had already told them that facing the Ghost Clan, gods were useless. When the fog enveloped them, it meant the end of their lives. The appearance of the Ghost Clan became increasingly unpredictable, as if they could appear anywhere at any time. Even the strongest barriers of the demon race and the Abyssal Demon Eye were useless. Even if the Abyssal Demon Eye issued a warning, it was after the fact. What was the point of a warning when people were already dead? The star regions of more than 20 races fell into complete chaos. Everyone feared the Ghost Clan and began to flee faster. They abandoned their star systems and resources, only wanting to survive. Countless warships and spaceships, along with gods, fled quickly with their people. This situation reached the front lines, and finally, the strong of the other shore realm couldn't sit still. They disregarded everything and returned to their races to protect their people. In the face of the survival of their races, their hatred for the human race could be set aside. Soul Devourer Shungjun repeatedly chased Lin Moyu through the Abyssal Demon Eye, but each time he was a step too late. Soul Devourer Shungjun grew increasingly angry, his entire body swelling larger than usual. The concealment talisman was too powerful, and even a Shungjun couldn't detect it. In the most recent instance, Lin Moyu was only 1,000,000 kilometers away from Soul Devourer Shungjun, yet he still didn't notice. This made Lin Moyu realize that there was still a significant gap between a Shungjun and a half-step supreme. If it were Eagle Emperor, he might have already been discovered at such a close distance. As many other shore realm experts returned to protect their people, powerful auras began to appear in the starry sky. These auras seemed to guide Lin Moyu, pointing the way. When Lin Moyu controlled the skeletal hell to devour another shore realm expert, all the other shore realm experts felt a chilling sensation. The Ghost Clan was not afraid of the other shore realm. The Ghost Clan had the ability to devour the other shore realm. The other shore realm experts began to feel uneasy, but since their races were there, they could only grit their teeth and hold their ground. At the same time, they sent out requests for help to the front lines, hoping that a Shungjun could come to their aid. From the situation with Soul Devourer Shungjun, it seemed that the Ghost Clan did not want to engage with Shungjun. If a Shungjun came to help, the situation might improve. The Shungjun were in a dilemma, helping or not helping both had consequences. If they didn't help, morale would collapse, and with it, the alliance. If they helped, what would happen to the front lines? At this point, the disadvantages of a multiracial alliance became apparent. Their unity and cohesion were far inferior to the human race. Eagle Emperor and Demon Lord finally couldn't sit still. They appeared together, along with a half-step supreme from the Black Blood realm named Mo Shui. The three half-step supremes assured all the races that they would personally deal with the Ghost Clan and protect the races. Upon receiving this news, everyone felt relieved. Their actions were immediately known to the human race, and Talisman Shungjun sent 2 flying sword talismans to Lin Moyu and Hao Shungjun. 2 days later, the Ghost Clan completely disappeared and never appeared again. It seemed as if the Ghost Clan were afraid of the half-step supremes and fled the starry sky. Not only the Ghost Clan, but Hao Shungjun's team also withdrew. After numerous hardships, the relocation efforts could finally proceed smoothly. The various races headed to their destinations, licking their wounds. After this battle, who knew how long it would take for them to recover? The 3 half-step supremes stood in the starry sky, their auras somber. Demon Lord's large face was filled with anger, gritting his teeth. Now it is certain, the Ghost Clan is under the command of the human race. Eagle Emperor's voice was as cold as ice. I found it strange before the Ghost Clan didn't appear earlier or later, but right after we started the war with the human race. Thinking back now, some of the information about the Ghost Clan was even released by the human race. Demon Lord muttered, have you noticed that it seems like the human race knows our every move? Not only Demon Lord, but Eagle Emperor also had a similar feeling. No matter what decisions they made, the human race seemed to know in advance and respond accordingly. Mo Shui said coldly, we fought with the human race for many years, and their strength far exceeds our imagination. There should be an ancient surveillance system left by the human race in the starry sky, so we must be cautious in our actions. In fact, we suffered the most in this battle. The Black Blood realm had just appeared, and they had already lost another Shore realm expert and 2 Shungjun, which was a significant loss. Mo Shui was angry, but the people of the Black Blood realm, who looked like dried corpses, did not show their emotions clearly. Demon Lord asked, does your race have any information on the Ghost Clan? Mo Shui shook his head, no, when we fought with the human race, the Ghost Clan did not participate. The Ghost Clan was used to suppress rebellions, and they did not appear in the battles with the Black Blood realm. This led to them knowing nothing about the Ghost Clan and having no countermeasures. Mo Shui said in a deep voice, but it is certain that the Ghost Clan does not want to engage with Shungjun, indicating that their strength is still insufficient. Previously, they avoided the other Shore realm, and now they avoid the Shungjun. It seems that the Ghost Clan's strength is gradually increasing. They plunder resources, and I suspect they can grow stronger by devouring living resources. The most troublesome thing is that they are elusive and constantly launch sneak attacks, which is very frustrating. We can't give them any more opportunities to get stronger. I will arrange the Black Blood 9 Rivers Array, combined with your barrier, to protect the races and prevent the Ghost Clan's sneak attacks. Chapter 2166, 2166. Chapter 2166, The Voice of the Boundary Sea in the Small World. Several half-step supreme beings were discussing how to deal with the Ghost Clan. Even now, they still hadn't connected the Ghost Clan with Lin Moyu. After all, the two seemed to have no connection, and it was impossible for them to be linked. At the human race's frontline garrison, the War God Fortress was located at the forefront. It emitted a dazzling stream of light, forming a beacon pointing into the distance. It was guiding the way for newcomers. Joyful laughter rang out as Little Mist rode on Little Bull, advancing along the beacon with laughter and chatter. Beside Little Bull, Saint Hao was also flying along. Little Bull seemed slow but was actually fast, crossing vast distances in the blink of an eye, arriving before the War God Fortress. The fortress gates opened, and the 2 people and 1 bull entered. Inside the War God Fortress, various Transcendent Realm experts and several saints were gathered, holding a meeting. Seeing their arrival, the Transcendent Realm experts stood up and greeted Saint Hao one after another. Greetings, Saint Hao. For a moment, the sounds of greetings were endless. Usually, the affairs of the human race were managed by Celestial Saint and Saint Hao. During Celestial Saint's spiritual journey, almost all matters, big and small, fell on Saint Hao's shoulders. So Saint Hao's reputation was the most prominent. After greeting Saint Hao, they noticed Little Mist. She looks very young, yet she's already a high-level divine venerable. Could she be Saint Hao's daughter? I've never heard that Saint Hao had a daughter. Judging by her age, she could be his great-granddaughter. Lin Mohan's beautiful eyes swept over and landed on Little Mist. This girl has Little Yu's aura. Not just Little Mist, but Little Bull also had Lin Moyu's aura. Little Mist also saw Lin Mohan and suddenly flew up, heading towards her. She cleverly landed in front of Lin Mohan. Sister, you smell very similar to my master. Lin Mohan's lips curled up slightly, revealing a hint of a smile. You call Little Yu master? Little Mist nodded. Yes, he is my master. Little Mist admitted it frankly and openly, without any hesitation, that Lin Moyu was her master. Lin Mohan muttered to herself, it seems Little Yu has grown up, knowing how to keep disciples now. Celestial Saint asked, Old Hao, where is young friend Lin? Saint Hao replied, young friend Lin still has some matters to attend to, he will return in a few days. In the human race's star region, there were many hidden small worlds, and many humans came from these small worlds. In the past, these small worlds, after being nurtured by the Great World, all had the chance to undergo transformation and enter the true Great World. Small worlds could evolve into planets, or even become star systems. But now, with the evolution of the Great World halted, small worlds would forever remain small worlds, unable to become great worlds. At most, those with extremely strong talents in the small worlds could enter the Great World and become part of it. In the Phoenix Star region, at the edge of the human race's star territory, Lin Moyu came here again, to where his small world used to be. He had once gained recognition from the small world's origin, becoming the master of this small world. Within a certain range, he would have a connection with his small world. And if close enough, Lin Moyu could even sense some situations inside the small world. Last time he returned, the connection between them was still very strong, but this time, their connection had suddenly weakened significantly. What happened? Lin Moyu's form moved like lightning, advancing quickly towards the small world. As the distance changed, their connection strengthened somewhat, but it was still very weak. Lin Moyu stopped when he was still 10 million kilometers away from the small world, a distance sufficient for him to see the small world clearly. Lin Moyu had a feeling that if he continued to approach, there would be danger. The death of the divine venerables outside the small world last time was still fresh in his memory. Of course, he now had the ability to kill those divine venerables, and could even do it instantly. But at that time, those divine venerables died from space-time power. With his current understanding and mastery of space-time power, he was far from being able to do this. Now, outside the small world, there were no longer any divine venerables. The entire starry sky was extremely quiet, with not even a single star within 1 light year around. In his vision, the small world was like an unhatched egg, slowly rotating in space. Lin Moyu watched for a while but didn't notice anything unusual. However, the weakened connection between him and the small world was a fact. The more normal things seemed on the outside, the more it indicated that something had happened inside the small world. Lin Moyu very much wanted to go back and take a look, but his instincts told him not to return. Antares, warning was still in his ears, telling him not to go back. Antares. Lin Moyu used his soul voice to transmit into the small world. But there was no response, he didn't receive any reply. An hour later, the small world suddenly became illusory, almost disappearing from sight. As the small world became illusory, Lin Moyu felt the connection between himself and the small world weaken to the extreme, as if it could break at any moment. That feeling was like the small world was moving away from him, getting further and further. Inexplicably, Lin Moyu felt a bit of panic, feeling as if he was about to lose the small world. Instinctively, he wanted to go over and grab it, not letting it leave. But reason told him not to do so. A few minutes later, their connection strengthened again, and the small world changed from illusory to clear, as if nothing had happened just now. Lin Moyu's heart was full of doubts, not knowing what had happened. He restrained himself and continued to watch, gradually discovering a pattern. Every day, the small world would become illusory, lasting for 5 minutes, and then recover. During these 5 minutes, the small world gave him the feeling that it was about to disappear. And at the same time, Lin Moyu sensed a trace of space-time power. The space-time power appeared from somewhere unknown, enveloping the small world. The space-time power was very strong, far surpassing Lin Moyu. Under the wrap of space-time power, various things must be happening inside the small world. Lin Moyu tried to get closer again, but the feeling of unease in his heart grew stronger. When he was still 5 million kilometers away, Lin Moyu stopped again. The unease in his heart reached its peak, and he knew that if he got any closer, he would be attacked. This feeling was very strange. He was clearly the master of the small world, yet he couldn't approach it. It was truly a case of having a home but being unable to return. This strange feeling made Lin Moyu very uncomfortable. The small world became illusory again, and their connection weakened once more. Whoosh! Is that the sound of water? As he got closer, Lin Moyu faintly heard the sound of water. The small world actually emitted the sound of water, which puzzled Lin Moyu greatly. He listened carefully with all his might and finally confirmed that it was indeed the sound of water. And it wasn't the sound of ordinary water flow, but the kind of huge waves in the ocean. Listening more carefully, vaguely, he felt that he had heard this kind of water sound somewhere before. Water sounds are different from each other. Depending on the number of laws in the water and different elements, there would be subtle differences. Ordinary people couldn't perceive this, but Lin Moyu could sense the difference with his extremely sensitive soul. He was sure he had heard this water sound before. His memory spun, and he finally thought of where this water sound came from. His expression began to change strangely. It's the sound of the Boundary Sea. How could it be the sound of the Boundary Sea? Finally finding the corresponding sea in his memory, it was indeed the Boundary Sea. How could the small world have a connection with the Boundary Sea? It was truly inconceivable. Suddenly, a voice transmitted from the small world. I'm fine, you leave first, I will come find you. Chapter 2167, 2167. Chapter 2167, Almost Died, Terrifying Space-Time Power. Antares finally responded, and Lin Moyu felt somewhat relieved. Judging from Antares' voice, he seemed fine, with a strong tone. Lin Moyu wanted to say more, but suddenly the small world burst with light, and space-time power surged out like a tsunami. Her soul was shaken violently, and an intense dizziness came over her. Lin Moyu felt the world spinning, and a strong sense of separation between her soul and body. It felt as if her soul was about to separate from her body, an extremely uncomfortable sensation. The invading space-time power caused her soul and body to exist in different space-times. Lin Moyu gritted her teeth and roared, forcing herself to regain clarity instantly. As the space-time power flowed, she used her own space-time power to resist the invading force. Her space-time power retreated step by step, completely outmatched, with a fundamental difference between the two. Although retreating, it still bought her some time. Lin Moyu seized the opportunity and quickly moved away. Each step covered 100 million kilometers. After one step, 3 light talismans flew out and exploded, suddenly increasing her speed to 300 million kilometers per step, taking 3 steps per second. Lin Moyu's speed abruptly increased, and she disappeared. In almost the blink of an eye, she had moved tens of billions of kilometers away. Only then did the invading space-time power recede. Lin Moyu stood in the starry sky, still shaken, exhaling a long breath that stretched for thousands of miles without dissipating. Those few seconds just now were extremely dangerous. Lin Moyu truly felt a life-and-death crisis, the kind where talents were useless, and even substitute puppets wouldn't work, a real danger. She felt that if she had died then, it would have been a true death. Under the cover of space-time power, even if she revived, she would instantly die again. After several revivals, she would truly be dead. Finally, Lin Moyu calmed down again, feeling relieved. Fortunately, I also have space-time power, otherwise I would have definitely died. Space-time power is indeed terrifying. Who could it be? They seem to want to take the small world away from the great world and directly enter the Boundary Sea. Could it be him? Why would he do this? Lin Moyu thought again of that blue-robed elder. Besides him, she really couldn't think of anyone else. However, regardless of whether it was the blue-robed elder or not, there was indeed an extremely terrifying figure behind this small world. Otherwise, even someone as strong as Antares wouldn't be trapped inside. Could it be the Dragon God? Lin Moyu thought of the Dragon God, perhaps he also had this ability. But soon she dismissed this idea, connecting the dots, it didn't seem like the Dragon God. The small world had too many mysteries, and answers couldn't be obtained for now. Lin Moyu shook her head, no longer thinking about it. There's no point in dwelling on things you can't figure out. When her strength becomes great enough in the future, she will naturally know. The human race's saints gathered at the front line. With the human emperor's network in place, there wouldn't be any problems in the human star region. The arrays of the 4-star regions were all activated. Even if a saint came, it would be difficult to break through. Plus, with Old Star still around, no saint would come looking for trouble. The human race's actions were also known to the 100 Races Alliance. Everyone realized that a great battle was imminent. The 100 Races Alliance was also on alert. The relocation was still ongoing, and the entire process would take time. It couldn't be completed so quickly. This matter couldn't be rushed. Fortunately, now with 3 half-step supreme beings escorting, the relocation project became smoother. On top of the War God Fortress, several saints set up tables and tea, drinking tea together, looking very relaxed and leisurely. With the great battle about to begin, they could still be so relaxed, fully displaying the saints' confidence. This, in turn, was also a show of contempt towards the 100 Races Alliance. Celestial Saint chuckled. Haven't they thought that after Eagle Emperor and Demon Lord leave their own star regions, they're actually only equivalent to saints? We're not afraid of them at all. War Saint agreed, that's right. Old How could kill the 2 saints from the Black Blood Great Realm, which means he could also kill Eagle Emperor and Demon Lord. Haven't they figured this out? Saint How sipped his fragrant tea and said calmly, this is precisely the terror of habitual thinking. We must not have such thoughts, otherwise problems will arise. Talisman Saint asked, when do we plan to start the great battle? Saint How replied, no rush. Let them finish relocating, then we'll take them all out at once. What 100 Races Alliance, it's all bullshit. War Saint laughed heartily, indeed, there's no rush then. It will take quite some time for them to finish relocating, at least 10 years or so. Saint How shook his head, it won't take that long. At most, it will be done in a few years. Now they basically won't move entire star systems, they just want to come over as quickly as possible. At these words, the saints all burst into laughter. It was indeed so. Now the 100 Races Alliance had basically given up on relocating planets, they just wanted to bring their people over as quickly as possible. Things like planets could be dealt with later. The priority was to come over and settle down safely. Celestial Saint said, young friend Lin's strategy is indeed effective, it has scared them all. On the other side, outside the fortress, giggles could be heard. Little Mist was playing with Little Bull, the girl and the bull were having a great time. Lin Mohan sat quietly to the side, not participating in the saints' tea party. She was cultivating, seizing every minute and second to cultivate, which had been ingrained in Lin Mohan's bloodline. Especially after she awakened her bloodline inheritance and gained partial memories, she became even more diligent in cultivation. Her ability to reach her current realm was not just due to the blood resonance brought by Lin Moyu, but also her own unremitting cultivation. The power of laws was rapidly sublimating into the power of rules. Now, most of Lin Mohan's laws had all been sublimated into the power of rules. Her laws were extremely unique, different from any known laws in the great world. The laws were filled with sharpness, carrying supreme sword intent. Lin Mohan called this type of law the world-destroying sword intent. In ancient times, there were sword-type laws, and sword-type laws were called sword intent by many swordsmen. Laws were just the surface, sword intent was the essence. The Heaven and Earth Sword sect had the Azure Sky Sword intent and the Great Earth Sword intent. When these 2 sword intents merged into one, they could become the Heaven and Earth Sword intent. There was once a sect that was on par with the Heaven and Earth Sword sect, called the Soul Sword sect. The Soul Sword sect passed down the Soul Sword law, also known as the True Soul Sword intent. However, Lin Mohan's world-destroying sword intent was not recorded in the Human Emperor's network data. When Lin Mohan transforms all her law power into world-destroying sword intent, it means she has officially reached the middle stage of the transcendent realm and is qualified to advance towards the saint realm. Of course, to advance to the saint realm, she still needs to construct a world of rules. Lin Mohan suddenly stopped cultivating and looked into the distance. Little Mist also stopped playing and happily ran to Lin Mohan's side. Master sister, Master is back. Lin Mohan smiled slightly, yes, little you is back. Her tone was incredibly gentle, completely different from usual. The sharpness in her smile was gone, leaving only softness. Lin Moyu was her only relative in the world. Although the siblings rarely met, it didn't affect their bond. Hearing their words, Saint How couldn't help but smile. Indeed, the hearts of siblings are connected. They hadn't sensed anything yet, but Lin Mohan was the first to sense it. If this wasn't the connection between siblings, what else could it be? Only the connection between siblings could have such blood resonance. Finally, the saints also sensed that someone was rapidly approaching. War Saint pointed with his finger, and a seven-colored rainbow flew out from the war god fortress, forming a great path to welcome the guest. Saint Hao said, "Old War, you're not being fair. When I came, you only used 5 colors, but for young friend Lin, you're using 7 colors." War Saint glanced sideways. "You old fellow, what are you talking about formalities? Giving you 5 colors was already considerate enough." Saint Hao snorted lightly. "It seems we need to have a match sometime." "Bring it on, I'm not afraid of you." Chapter 2168, 2168. Chapter 2168, Sister uses sword to clear the way for Xiaoyu. Lin Moyu stepped on the 7-colored clouds and slowly approached. His appearance immediately attracted the attention of countless people. Lin Moyu was extremely famous, and many people recognized him. Many of the divine venerables had the status of talisman masters, and they all saluted Lin Moyu. "Greetings, Master Lin." "Greetings, Master Lin." "Hello, Great Master Lin, it's really you. Finally, we see the real person. Great Master Lin is so young." "Greetings, Mr. Lin." "Mr. Lin, good day." Lin Moyu was also known as the Great Master, referring to his abilities in clearing secret realms, which were comparable to myths. Over time, many people began to call Lin Moyu the Great Master. Some divine venerables from the Bian family called Lin Moyu Mr. Lin. Many people from the Bian realm also saluted Lin Moyu from afar, with respectful eyes. They knew more than the divine venerables and understood that many of the plans in this war were directed by Lin Moyu behind the scenes. Some even knew the true identity of the Ghost Clan. Lin Moyu's combat power was astonishing. Despite being only at the 5th stage of Divine Venerable, his real combat power could rival that of the Bian realm. Lin Mohan flew up, stepping on the 7-colored clouds, smiling as she looked at Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu came to Lin Mohan, and the two smiled at each other. "Little brother, long time no see." Lin Mohan's voice was gentle, completely devoid of her usual sharpness. Facing her little brother, this sharp sword had long been sheathed. Lin Moyu's face was filled with a warm smile, and he softly said, "Sister, you are getting more and more beautiful. When did Xiaoyu learn to be so glib?" Lin Mohan laughed, "Like a blooming flower, incredibly beautiful." For a moment, countless people were stunned. There were many beauties among the human race, but someone like Lin Mohan was extremely rare. Lin Mohan exuded a special charm that was mesmerizing and irresistible. Whether she was smiling or serious, it did not affect her charm. Even some strong-willed Bian realm experts would be affected. Lin Moyu softly said, "I'm just telling the truth." The siblings had been apart for over 100 years, but their feelings had not faded at all. Little Mist rode Little Bull towards the 7-colored clouds, shouting loudly, "Master." Seeing Little Mist rushing over, Lin Moyu's thoughts moved. Little Bull immediately heard Lin Moyu's voice, "If you come up, I'll slaughter you." Little Bull moved and quickly turned around, flying away with a swoosh. Lin Mohan seemed to understand Lin Moyu's little action and couldn't help but smile. "Don't scare Little Mist." Lin Moyu shook his head, "I won't, I just don't want to be disturbed." A rune flew out from his fingertips, exploding like fireworks, forming an invisible barrier that enveloped the two of them. An invisible force field appeared around them, creating an independent space that blocked out external sounds. After many years apart, the siblings had a lot to talk about. Now was their time, and they shouldn't be disturbed by others. War Saint laughed lightly, and the 7-colored clouds changed, forming a huge light belt that surrounded the two of them. Little Bull flew back, still in shock, with wide eyes and heavy breathing. Little Mist tugged at Little Bull's horns. "Little Bull, why didn't you go over?" Little Bull said, "If Little Bull flew over, I would be made into beef hot pot." Little Mist asked curiously, "Who would dare to make you into beef hot pot?" Little Bull muttered in his heart, "Are you really clueless or just pretending?" Little Mist muttered to herself, "Is beef hot pot delicious? Little Bull, is your meat tasty?" Little Bull suddenly felt a chill and wanted to cry but had no tears. Lin Mohan and Lin Moyu talked for a long time, and Lin Moyu recounted his experiences over the years, full of dangers and thrilling moments, which made Lin Mohan frown. Compared to her quiet and peaceful cultivation life, Lin Moyu's experiences were much more dangerous. She sighed, "I didn't expect Xiaoyu to go through so much, and I couldn't help you." Lin Moyu didn't mind. "Ever since I received the inheritance of the Yunwu sect, I knew that everyone has their own destiny. This is what I should do, and sister, you surely have your own things to do." This time, thanks to sister's help, our plan went so smoothly. Lin Mohan's strength indeed brought many conveniences to Lin Moyu's plan. A combat power equivalent to the Saint Realm was enough to change the situation. Lin Mohan said, I just did what I could. In the future, whatever Xiao Yu decides to do, sister will fully support you. Lin Moyu smiled, there's no rush. The next big battle won't start for at least a few years. In Lin Moyu's plan, the next big battle was crucial. It not only concerned himself but also Lin Mohan and the entire human race. The battle would start after all the races had finished relocating. All the previous actions were preparations for this battle. If his plan went smoothly, after the battle, the 100 Races Alliance would be nearly wiped out. The number of survivors from each race would not exceed 30%. After the 100 Races Alliance was completely defeated, it would be time to deal with a few strong races. Lin Moyu told Lin Mohan his plan. I met an ancient figure who told me that the divine path cannot be repaired, it can only be rebuilt. However, to rebuild the divine path, the Great World must win in the collision with the Do World in 1300 years. Given the current situation of the Great World, there is no chance of winning, so we must cut off the cause and effect now, allowing the Great World to move forward lightly. Lin Mohan seemed relaxed. Xiao Yu is really getting stronger. You make the plan, and sister will use her sword to clear the way for you. Lin Moyu smiled, I heard that sister has awakened an ancient bloodline. Lin Mohan nodded, when I advanced to the Bian realm, I suddenly received an inheritance which was in my bloodline. Lin Moyu's smile grew brighter, it seems sister is really the reincarnation of an ancient power. Lin Mohan neither confirmed nor denied it, whether I'm the reincarnation of an ancient power is uncertain, but this inheritance is indeed strong. According to Little Sword, this inheritance is stronger than that of the Heaven and Earth Sword sect. As she spoke, Lin Mohan touched the Heaven and Earth Sword on her back. Little Sword referred to the Heaven and Earth Sword. As the inherited treasure of the Heaven and Earth Sword sect, it was a treasure of the heavenly Venerable realm, naturally containing a spirit. However, without a heavenly Venerable, no one could unleash the true power of the Heaven and Earth Sword. Otherwise, even a half-step supreme could be cut down with one sword. Even the Heaven and Earth Sword said that Lin Mohan's inheritance was stronger than that of the Heaven and Earth Sword sect, so it must be true. Lin Mohan was his sister, and Lin Moyu naturally hoped she would be stronger. Lin Moyu said, I heard from Talisman Saint that sister needs rule divine stones. Lin Mohan nodded, yes, in my inheritance, the best material for constructing a rule world is the rule divine stone. Lin Moyu took out an ancient box containing the rule divine stones and handed it to Lin Mohan. Lin Mohan accepted it without any hesitation. There was no need for courtesy between siblings. In the box, the rule divine stones shone with a flowing light, appearing both real and illusory, extremely beautiful. The beauty of the rule divine stones was almost unreal. Lin Moyu said, originally, I wanted to use the rule divine stones to repair the divine path, but before he could finish, he was stunned. Lin Mohan's jade hand had already grabbed the rule divine stone and was carefully examining it. Chapter 2169, 2169. Chapter 2169, Perhaps the Great World's Self-Rescue. Lin Mohan held the rule divine stone and examined it carefully. Her beautiful eyes reflected the light of the rule divine stone. Lin Moyu was astonished that the rule divine stone, which he could barely touch without almost dying, could be held so easily by Lin Mohan. Even the saints among the human race couldn't touch it. It's truly a beautiful stone. Lin Mohan looked at it for a while, then put the rule divine stone back in the box and laughed, then I won't be polite, sister. Lin Moyu, still somewhat shocked, asked, sister, have you comprehended the power of reality and illusion? Lin Mohan smiled, ever since I awakened the inheritance, I understood the power of reality and illusion. Lin Moyu sighed, now even I have to believe that you really are the reincarnation of an ancient power. Lin Mohan didn't care, whether I am the reincarnation of an ancient power or not doesn't matter. What matters is that we are siblings. The words, we are siblings, warmed Lin Moyu's heart. Since coming to this world, apart from his grandmother, Lin Mohan was his closest person. He remembered every bit of their childhood, which had accumulated into a vast ocean of memories. Even though he had transmigrated here and his sister was the reincarnation of an ancient power, did it matter? It didn't matter. As long as they were siblings, that was enough. Lin Mohan asked, what were you going to say earlier, Xiao Yu? Lin Moyu said, when I first got the rule divine stone, I thought it could be used to repair the divine path. Later, I found out that the divine path cannot be repaired, so the rule divine stone became useless. Fortunately, sister can use it, so it won't become a useless item of the heavenly Venerable. The rule divine stone was extremely precious, even in ancient times. Otherwise, it wouldn't have been preserved by the Soul Clan until now. Lin Moyu thought about how he obtained the rule divine stone and the words left by the Soul Clan. I fulfilled my promise to you. I hope you can fulfill your promise to me. Who gave the rule divine stone to the Soul Clan, and what promise was made? At this moment, Lin Mohan received the rule divine stone, and Lin Moyu suddenly had a guess. Could it be that the person who asked the Soul Clan to keep the rule divine stone was Lin Mohan herself? Of course, it would be Lin Mohan from ancient times. It wasn't impossible. This was just his guess, something he couldn't say out loud. Lin Mohan seemed to see through Lin Moyu's thoughts. Xiao Yu, are you thinking that it was my past life who asked the Soul Clan to keep the rule divine stone? Lin Moyu wasn't surprised that Lin Mohan could guess his thoughts. Since childhood, Lin Mohan could always guess most of his thoughts. There was a silent understanding between the siblings, and many words didn't need to be spoken. Lin Mohan laughed. If I really am the reincarnation of an ancient power, this might indeed be something I did. Lin Moyu joked, if it really was you, then it means you were probably a heavenly venerable in ancient times. Lin Mohan said, so what if I was a heavenly venerable? If I was, I still died. Lin Moyu sighed, yes, even a heavenly venerable can die. The dead are dead, and the gone are gone. Saint Hao and Celestial Saint saw Lin Mohan pick up the rule divine stone, and they exchanged a bitter look. The thing they couldn't even touch was easily held by Lin Mohan. The difference was too great. Celestial Saint sighed, both siblings are monsters. Saint Hao laughed heartily, the more of these monsters, the better. Indeed, the more of these monsters, the better. Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan, bathed in radiant light, descended upon the army like celestial beings. Under the gaze of countless people, with billions of eyes watching, Lin Moyu raised his hand and pointed lightly. Boom! A magnificent river of laws appeared in the starry sky. The river of laws was gray and white, with a peculiar aura. The laws within were distinct, emitting two completely different auras. The white laws made people feel comfortable, filled with vibrant life. The gray laws made people feel despair, filled with the aura of death. Many people saw such a peculiar river of laws for the first time and were astonished. Many didn't understand what Lin Moyu was doing, why he summoned the river of laws. What is he doing? He wouldn't summon the river of laws for no reason. There must be a reason. His river of laws is so peculiar. I've never seen anything like it. I've studied laws for half my life and understand almost all human laws, but I've never seen Lin's river of laws. After summoning the river of laws, Lin Moyu began to draw runes. The runes he drew were extremely complex, one after another. One high-level rune after another flew out, then fused together, gradually forming an incredibly complex rune array. The rune masters present were mesmerized. Lin Moyu's rune drawing technique was so exquisite that it was like a visual feast. The rune masters were entranced, and even those who didn't understand runes found it pleasing to the eye. Lin Moyu's process of drawing the rune array was too smooth, filled with an indescribable charm. Celestial Saint laughed. Rune Saint, what do you think? Rune Saint didn't respond. Celestial Saint turned to look and found that Rune Saint was already entranced, in a state of forgetting both self and surroundings. Saint Hao laughed. Lin's path of runes has gone very far. If it weren't for his limited realm, his level might have already surpassed Rune Saint. Sword Saint was shocked. How is that possible? He's so young, his cultivation speed is already astonishing. How could he surpass Rune Saint in the path of runes? In her understanding, Lin Moyu was indeed a genius with an astonishing cultivation speed. But Lin Moyu should have spent his time on cultivation. How could he have time to study runes? Moreover, the time spent on runes wouldn't be less than cultivation. Saint Hao laughed. Do you know why all the rune masters call him Master Lin? Sword Saint instinctively asked, why? Saint Hao laughed, because he has taught all the rune masters, including Rune Saint. And Rune Saint was able to advance to Saint thanks to Lin. Sword Saint felt a chill. Lin Moyu's talent had completely surpassed her understanding. Celestial Saint said, I've heard that in ancient times, there were such peerless geniuses. They cultivated effortlessly, without bottlenecks, and mastered runes, artifact refining, and alchemy with ease. If our talents were placed in ancient times, we would only be considered ordinary. Although it wasn't pleasant to hear, it was the truth. The current era was indeed far inferior to ancient times. The Great World's runes were severely damaged, affecting the entire Great World. Not only were resources unable to regenerate, but even peerless geniuses were hard to come by. The appearance of siblings like Lin Mohan and Lin Moyu was already an incredible stroke of luck. Celestial Saint sighed, perhaps this is the Great World's last self-rescue. No one knew what the Great World's final outcome would be. Lin Moyu finished drawing the rune array, which enveloped the River of Laws and began to operate slowly. Waves surged in the River of Laws, and white laws shot into the sky, entering the rune array. Then they burst out from the other end of the rune array. The laws that passed through the rune array were instantly strengthened several times, becoming more intense. The laws turned into white raindrops, carrying abundant life force, and sprinkled over the entire army. Chapter 2170, 2170. Chapter 2170, We also need time. The starry sky where the human army was located was enveloped in endless white light, with boundless vitality converging into a sea within it. Under the white drizzle, the immense vitality invaded their bodies, and everyone showed expressions of comfort. My injury is healed. The injury to my soul is also recovering. My God, how did he do it? It's truly miraculous. Even my old injuries from hundreds of years ago are healed. My injuries are healed, and my realm can improve again. My realm is recovering. Heavens, I am returning to my peak. Countless voices erupted, filling the entire human army with incredulity. Everyone was already beyond shocked. In the battles over the years, they had all suffered injuries to varying degrees. Physical injuries were easier to heal, but some had soul injuries that were difficult to recover from. Some people had their realms fall due to injuries. Now, in the reign of vitality, everyone was rapidly recovering. Some even had their souls nourished, and their realms improved. For a time, the human army was filled with countless auras of advancement. Many people broke through their realms and improved their cultivation. This white rain directly sent the human army into a sea of joy. Everyone looked at Lin Moyu as if they were looking at their benefactor. Some saluted Lin Moyu, and some bowed to him. Master Lin, Great Master Lin. They called out continuously. The will of these warriors transformed into boundless power of faith, converging and rushing into Lin Moyu's body, entering his soul. The power of faith surged like a stellar eruption. Over the years, Lin Moyu had accumulated an immeasurable amount of faith power, even he couldn't count it. He accumulated a lot but used little. Lin Moyu did not refine the excess faith power into faith tokens. The faith power gathered in his soul world, almost becoming a boundless ocean. Looking at his masterpiece, Lin Moyu smiled and said, "The effect of the rune array is not bad." This rune array also came from the holy rune Heavenly Venerable, and its function was to amplify the power of laws, by 3 to 5 times at least, and up to more than 10 times. The specific amplification depended on the level of the rune master and the strength of the laws. The stronger the laws, the smaller the amplification. The stronger the rune master, the greater the amplification. The effect of the undying law was amplified by at least 5 times, which was already very impressive. Lin Mohan's beautiful eyes sparkled. Xiaoyu has truly won people's hearts this time. Lin Moyu smiled. I didn't think about that. I just sincerely wanted to do something for them. Lin Moyu indeed didn't think too much. When the idea was born, he really just wanted to do something for these warriors. The current result was just an unintended consequence. The white rain continued to fall, lasting for a full day before it stopped. The injuries of the human army of 1 billion were all healed, and they returned to their peak. At least 1 million people broke through their realms and further improved their cultivation. Overall, the combat power of the human army increased by at least 10%. Lin Moyu and Lin Mohan returned to the War God Fortress, and the first person they saw was Little Mist. Little Mist looked at Lin Moyu with her big eyes, tears welling up in her eyes. She looked as pitiful as could be. Lin Mohan chuckled and waved at Little Mist. Little Mist, come here. Little Mist responded and quickly ran over, hugging Lin Mohan. Master's sister, Master doesn't want Little Mist anymore. Tears flowed out, soaking Lin Mohan's clothes. Lin Mohan gently patted Little Mist's back and laughed. Don't worry, Little Mist is so cute, Xiaoyu won't abandon you. Little Mist sobbed, really? Lin Mohan smiled, really? Lin Moyu had already come to the saints and greeted them. When Sword Saint saw Lin Moyu again, she seemed a bit embarrassed, as there had been some unpleasantness before. Lin Moyu saluted Sword Saint. When Sword Saint went to the Demon Star region to save me, I didn't have time to thank you. Today, I formally thank you. The step was given, and Sword Saint naturally took it. Lin Xiaoyu is too polite. This is what we should do. Lin Moyu said, no matter what, I still have to thank you. He saluted Sword Saint again, sincerely, and everyone could feel it. With these words, the awkwardness between them finally dissolved. Lin Moyu looked at Rune Saint, who seemed a bit strange, his eyes unfocused, but runes constantly floated in his pupils, still in a state of forgetting both self and surroundings. Saint Hao joked, Rune Saint has been obsessed with runes all his life. When he saw Lin Xiaoyu drawing the rune array just now, he got lost in it. It will take some time for him to come back to his senses. Lin Moyu naturally understood that Rune Saint's current state was somewhat similar to an enlightenment state. However, it was still different from true enlightenment. Lin Moyu said, when Rune Saint wakes up, his realm might improve again. As he spoke, Lin Moyu threw out a rune, which exploded silently and enveloped Rune Saint, preventing him from being disturbed by the outside world. Saint Tian laughed heartily, Lin Xiaoyu is truly Rune Saint's blessing. Because of you, he became a saint, obtained the ancient rune inheritance, and now his realm will improve again. Lin Moyu was very humble, you flatter me, senior. After some pleasantries, they moved to a tea table, and Saint Hao's thoughts activated the entire tea set, which began to brew tea automatically. At this time, Lin Mohan also came over, with Little Mist following her cautiously, carefully watching Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu waved at Little Mist, and she rushed over and clung to him again. Little Mist didn't cry or make a fuss, just hung on quietly. Lin Mohan had already explained the situation to her, that the siblings hadn't seen each other for many years and didn't want to be disturbed. Little Mist now understood and was very sensible. Tea was not wine, but it could still be enjoyed, and during the conversation, Lin Moyu learned about the current situation in detail. The overall situation did not exceed his expectations. The human race had always maintained a situation of more victories than defeats, and morale remained high. Cultivators were not like ordinary armies, their will was stronger and they would not easily admit defeat. Everyone knew that there would inevitably be a great battle between the human race and the 100 Races Alliance. Everyone was looking forward to this battle. The seemingly fierce battles before seemed to be preparations for the real final battle. The situation on the 100 Races Alliance's side was the same. The relocation was accelerating. Most of the races had given up their homes, bringing their families to the predetermined locations. The people of the 100 Races Alliance began to gather, which was exactly what Lin Moyu wanted. The cultivators of the Black Blood Great Realm also surfaced, no longer hiding, and had become a member of the 100 Races Alliance. In fact, they had cooperated with various races in ancient times, attacking the human race together and harming the Great World. Even in the Great Battle 10,000 years ago, the Black Blood Great Realm had secretly intervened. War Saint asked, at the current speed of the 100 Races Alliance, it will take at least 5 years for them to completely relocate, maybe even longer. Should we harass them a bit to make them move faster? Lin Moyu shook his head, no rush, let them move slowly. They need time, and we also need time. Hearing this, the saints knew that Lin Moyu had a new idea, but they didn't know what it was. This battle had been led by Lin Moyu's plans, and his ideas were extremely important. Lin Moyu saw the saints' confusion and said, I need these years to do something. If it succeeds, it will greatly reduce the casualties of our human race. Chapter 2171, 2171. Chapter 2171, Different Treatment. This matter requires the cooperation of the Rune Saint and a vast amount of materials. I want to enhance the Golden Armor Talisman and mass-produce talisman cards. I aim for every warrior to have one. Lin Moyu's idea was simple and straightforward. Enhance the Golden Armor Talisman to reach the level of the Bian realm, at least able to withstand a blow from the Bian realm. In this way, the warriors can attack without any worries, without needing to consider defense. Even the aftermath of battles between the Bian realm and saints wouldn't harm them. The Bian realm and saints on the opposing side would no longer be able to use ordinary warriors' lives as leverage. If successful, the combat power of the troops would be greatly enhanced. The human race could fully unleash their potential, and as long as the top combat power remains intact, the 100 Races Alliance would be completely defeated by the human race. Of course, all of this was based on the success of Lin Moyu's plan. Creating talisman cards required the help of the rune saint and a large amount of materials. After all, these were human warriors, not his undead army. The undead army didn't need talisman cards once the runes were created, they would be directly engraved into their souls, ready for use at any time, which was more convenient. To truly reduce the human race's casualties, the best way would be to use the undead army to replace the human army. Lin Moyu had considered this, but it would undermine the human army's confidence. After all, in over 1,000 years, the human race would still have to face the strong of the Do world. His undead army, though numerous, had its limits in command and many restrictions, unlike the human army, which was flexible and adaptable. After comprehensive consideration, Lin Moyu decided that the final battle would be led by the human army, letting them fight. There would inevitably be casualties, and he could only try to minimize them. Faced with Lin Moyu's proposal, several saints raised their hands in agreement. Celestial Saint said, "The human race has accumulated for 100,000 years, and it's finally time to use it." War Saint also said, "My war god Hall has been exploring the inner and outer spaces of the domain, accumulating a large amount of materials, all of which are at your disposal this time." Sword Saint also spoke, "In the 4 battlefields, our military has also accumulated countless materials, which will be provided this time." The entire human race became Lin Moyu's support, providing him with vast materials. The accumulation of a strong race over 100,000 years was terrifying. Little Mist also raised her hand, "Master, Little Mist can help too. Little Mist knows ancient runes." Lin Moyu smiled, "Where did Little Mist learn ancient runes?" Little Mist said, "From the holy rune Heavenly Venerable. Little Mist has his inheritance." For a moment, there was silence around them. Lin Moyu's mouth twitched slightly. Little Mist also had the inheritance of the holy rune Heavenly Venerable. Lin Moyu finally understood the saying, "Don't put all your eggs in one basket." The holy rune Heavenly Venerable did just that, not putting his inheritance solely on himself. He also gave the inheritance to Little Mist, and unlike Lin Moyu, who had to find it piece by piece, Little Mist received the complete inheritance directly. Indeed, former lovers are treated differently, Lin Moyu laughed at himself. Suddenly, he thought, "Little Mist, did the illusion Mist Heavenly Venerable leave you any inheritance?" Little Mist shook her head, "The old master didn't leave any inheritance, nor did he need to. Everything the old master knew, Little Mist knows too, just didn't learn it." Alright, the saints' hearts were hurt again. Little Mist was once the inheriting spirit of the Yunwu sect, so she naturally knew everything about the Yunwu sect. "Why didn't you learn it?" Lin Moyu asked softly. Little Mist said, "It's too troublesome. Those illusions and realities make my head hurt." Alright, that reason was strong and irrefutable. Little Mist added, "If it can help Master, Little Mist is willing to learn. Little Mist is very smart and learns quickly." Little Mist blinked her big eyes, looking sincere and serious. This look made everyone laugh. Lin Moyu patted Little Mist's head, "Then learn it. It should be useful." Little Mist nodded vigorously, "Then Little Mist will study hard." A powerful aura surged out, and the rune saint finally woke up. His aura rolled, and a world appeared, filled with runes, which was the rule world of the rune saint. The rune saint entered the path through runes, so his rule world was naturally composed of runes. Previously, the rune saint's rule world was somewhat illusory, appearing weaker among the saints. After all, he had only recently become a saint, and his rule world was not as strong as the other saints. In terms of combat power, the rune saint was also the weakest among the saints. Compared to the saints of the 100 Races Alliance, he could at most maintain a stalemate. In the rule world, runes shone brightly, gradually strengthening the rule world. The stronger the rule world, the stronger the saint's combat power. Lin Moyu looked at the rune saint's rule world and judged silently, the rune saint's rule world is not yet at the ordinary level, somewhere between trash and ordinary. If he wants to go further, the rule world must continue to strengthen, otherwise becoming a supreme is very difficult. However, the rune saint's rule world has not yet fully formed, so there is still a chance to strengthen it. Lin Moyu considered whether to tell the rune saint about this but decided not to for now, as it would be too discouraging. Telling a saint that his rule world was only at the trash level would be too hurtful. The rune saint's enlightenment strengthened his rule world, and the joy on his face was hard to hide. He bowed deeply to Lin Moyu, "Thank you, Master Lin." Lin Moyu accepted it calmly. He had the qualification, and this was also the rule within the human race. Lin Moyu smiled. Rune Saint, you will be very busy next. The Rune Saint's expression became serious, and he solemnly promised, Master Lin, just give the orders. I will do my best. The relocation of the 100 Races Alliance continued, and the Saints kept a close watch on the human race, finding that they were quiet, which reassured them. There were still minor skirmishes, but no major battles occurred. Both sides seemed to be gathering strength, preparing for a real showdown. In the War God Fortress, only Lin Moyu and the Rune Saint were present. Lin Moyu summoned Xiao Jin from his soul world, along with his automated golden armor talisman array cluster. Since they were going to make golden armor talismans, the best way was to upgrade the existing ones. Lin Moyu said, Rune Saint, I have already told you my idea. I want to make the golden armor talisman reach the Bian realm, able to withstand a blow from the Bian realm, at least reaching the level of a first-grade ancient rune. My realm is not enough to control the power of rules, so I can only draw the runes. The power of rules needs you to complete. The Rune Saint understood Lin Moyu's meaning. Master Lin, rest assured, I will do my best. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. Then let's begin. He started drawing runes, first attempting to draw the golden armor talisman of the Bian realm, then disassembling it, integrating it into the rune array, and modifying the array. The goal was to achieve a fully automated rune manufacturing cluster. Since creating the golden armor talisman, Lin Moyu had high hopes for it. He hoped the golden armor talisman could continuously upgrade, becoming stronger and without limits. Following his concept, Lin Moyu drew the runes needed for the golden armor talisman. There were 3 runes in total, each very complex, composed of several to more than a dozen high-level runes. As long as these 3 runes were combined, they could become an ancient rune. Lin Moyu whispered, let's begin. The Rune Saint nodded, and a rule power filled with rune aura flew out, enveloping the 3 runes. Lin Moyu controlled the 3 runes, making them merge. The 3 runes quickly came together and began to merge. At first, it went smoothly, but halfway through the fusion, the 3 runes suddenly cracked with a bang. It failed. Let's continue. Chapter 2172, 2172. Chapter 2172, Golden Armor Ancient Talisman Array Cluster. There was no disappointment, failure was normal. If they had succeeded on the first try, that would have been abnormal. Lin Moyu and Saint Talisman kept trying, seeking experience through repeated failures. Days passed, and gradually, the coordination between the two became more skilled and tacit. Finally, after a month, a brilliantly golden ancient talisman appeared before them. Lin Moyu summoned the skeleton divine general, fused it with the golden armor ancient talisman, and let Saint Talisman conduct experiments. The effect was surprisingly good. This golden armor ancient talisman, invented and created by Lin Moyu, could withstand a full force attack from a transcendent realm expert. If it were a peak divine venerable, they would probably need to attack continuously for a long time to break it. Saint Talisman said, this golden armor ancient talisman should have reached the peak of first grade. It wouldn't be a problem to call it a second grade ancient talisman. Lin Moyu was also very satisfied. Can you see if it can be made into a talisman card? Saint Talisman nodded and began to draw the golden armor ancient talisman. During this time, he had become very familiar with the golden armor ancient talisman and could draw it effortlessly. This time, Lin Moyu didn't participate, it was completely done by Saint Talisman alone. After all, Saint Talisman was a saint, and a first-grade ancient talisman wasn't difficult for him. In no time, he had drawn a golden armor ancient talisman. Then he took out a piece of top-grade talisman gold, cut off a small piece, and directly fused the golden armor ancient talisman into it, refining it into a talisman card. Making talisman cards was a piece of cake for Saint Talisman. In the blink of an eye, the talisman card was refined. The talisman gold turned into a beautiful piece of gold jade, emitting a noble aura. After some more experimentation, they found that the effect of the golden armor ancient talisman remained the same after being refined into a talisman card, fully meeting Lin Moyu's expectations. Lin Moyu said, now that both the golden armor ancient talisman and the talisman card have been successful, the next step is to modify the cluster array to allow for automated production of the golden armor ancient talisman. Lin Moyu already had his own ideas about this, which also required Saint Talisman's help. At this point, Saint Talisman was full of admiration for Lin Moyu. Creating a completely new ancient talisman was not something an ordinary talisman master could do. Even though Lin Moyu had received the inheritance of the Holy Rune Heavenly Venerable, inheritance was inheritance, and creation was creation. Being able to create an ancient talisman showed what level Lin Moyu's understanding of talismans had reached. Saint Talisman knew he couldn't do it himself. As for the automated talisman manufacturing cluster, he didn't even dare to think about it. Lin Moyu not only thought about it but also did it. Lin Moyu began to modify the talisman array. The previous talisman array cluster system was dismantled, and extensive modifications were made based on it. The modification process was again a series of failures, but with their previous failure experiences, the two sought opportunities in failure. Saint Talisman used his lifelong learning to assist Lin Moyu. When they encountered problems, they thought and solved them together. The talisman array gradually took shape. The entire array was very complex, composed of 99 large and small arrays. 98 of these arrays produced the components needed for the golden armor ancient talisman, which were then gathered together and handed over to the last array for assembly. The last array was filled with the power of rules. Saint Talisman admired the 99 arrays as if appreciating a work of art. "I never thought talismans could be played with like this," Saint Talisman exclaimed. Without Lin Moyu's genius creativity, he would never have thought of this method. Lin Moyu smiled slightly. "Let's begin. If this succeeds, the rest will be easy." Saint Talisman took a deep breath, solemnly saying, "Then let's start." Lin Moyu activated the 98 arrays. The arrays began to operate, producing the components needed for the golden armor ancient talisman one by one. Saint Talisman activated the last array, which needed to be driven by the power of rules, something Lin Moyu couldn't do. Soon, all 98 components were manufactured and began to fuse together. Under the drive of the array, the fusion process went very smoothly. A few seconds later, a brand new golden armor ancient talisman flew out of the array. Success! Saint Talisman was overjoyed. Lin Moyu shook his head. "There's still one last step. Xiao Jin," he called out, and Xiao Jin flew over in response, taking control of the array. As an array spirit, Xiao Jin had a natural control over arrays and quickly took over the array, as well as the newly manufactured golden armor ancient talisman. Xiao Jin waved his big hand, sending the golden armor ancient talisman into the waiting skeleton divine general, which successfully accepted the golden armor ancient talisman. After some testing, they found that the golden armor ancient talisman produced by the array had no difference in effect from the ones they had drawn. Only then did Lin Moyu's lips curl into a smile. Now it's truly a success. If Xiao Jin couldn't take control of the array, it wouldn't have been considered a success. As it turned out, Xiao Jin was very capable. As an array spirit, it had its own special qualities and could take control even of ancient talismans. At this point, the entire golden armor ancient talisman array was completely finished. The array continued to operate, constantly producing ancient talismans one after another. Saint Talisman took out an ancient jade, about 1 meter square, plain and unadorned. It stored a large amount of rule power, which Saint Talisman had stored up over time. The rule power in the ancient jade would replace Saint Talisman in providing energy for the golden armor ancient talisman array. The ancient jade had been specially treated by Saint Talisman, covered with talismans. While consuming rule power, it could also absorb soul power and convert it into rule power. This was also Lin Moyu's requirement. From the beginning, he had thought about how to provide energy for the array. At his request, Saint Talisman created this piece of ancient jade. The golden armor ancient talisman didn't require much rule power. A piece of ancient jade like this had enough rule power to support the array's operation for thousands of years. By the time thousands of years had passed, Lin Moyu would have long since entered the transcendent realm and possessed rule power himself, no longer needing the ancient jade for support. In fact, from the beginning of creating the golden armor ancient talisman, Lin Moyu never thought about failure. The two observed for a while, confirming that the golden armor ancient talisman array had completely stabilized. Golden armor ancient talismans were being produced at a rate of 1 per hour. Lin Moyu said, "Next is to create the cluster. I have Xiao Jin as the array spirit here, and Saint Talisman can mobilize multiple talisman masters for control." Saint Talisman chuckled, "Young friend Lin underestimates our talisman association. Not only do we have many talisman masters, but we also have array spirits. They may not be as powerful as Xiao Jin, but we can certainly find 1 or 2 that are usable." Saint Talisman naturally knew that using array spirits to control arrays was better than manual control. Array spirits were the spirits of arrays and had natural advantages in this aspect. Saint Talisman left for a while and quickly returned, bringing back a vast amount of materials. Now the human race was providing materials without reservation, as much as needed. The amount of materials accumulated by the human race over 100,000 years was unimaginably vast. Saint Talisman began refining the ancient jades needed by Lin Moyu one by one, while Lin Moyu started to set up the golden armor talisman array cluster. Lin Moyu moved quickly, multitasking, and rapidly forming array after array. The speed of producing golden armor ancient talismans also increased faster and faster. 3 years later, the golden armor ancient talisman array cluster was finally completed, consisting of 10,000 arrays arranged in a 100 by 100 formation. 10,000 golden armor ancient talisman arrays was the current limit of what Xiao Jin could control and manage. With 10,000 arrays operating together, 10,000 ancient talismans could be produced every 30 minutes. This way, it would only take 3 years to equip the entire undead army with golden armor ancient talismans. Now there were still 7 years until the planned great battle, plenty of time. However, in Lin Moyu's plan, besides his own undead army, the more important part was the human race's army. Lin Moyu looked at Saint Talisman, call the best talisman masters here. It's time to make talisman cards. Chapter 2173, 2173. Chapter 2173, if you don't retrieve the Dragon Ball, I'll release them. A large number of talisman masters entered the War God Fortress and, under the command of the Talisman Saint, began to refine talisman cards. When they saw the golden armor ancient talisman array cluster, they were all stunned. Each of them was a high-level talisman master and at least a high-level divine venerable, with some even at the Bian realm. Regardless of their status or realm, and no matter how many years they had lived, none had ever seen such a large-scale talisman array cluster. Moreover, when they learned that this array could automatically operate to produce ancient talismans, they were even more astonished, their shock beyond words. They looked at Lin Moyu as if they were looking at a mythical figure. No, they didn't even see Lin Moyu as a human anymore. Lin Moyu had become a legend in their hearts, irreplaceable. It was the Talisman Saint who finally woke them up and got them to start refining talisman cards. Refining ancient talismans into talisman cards was not an easy task, with a high failure rate. As the president of the Talisman Association, the Talisman Saint went around teaching them how to refine the talismans. Fortunately, there were countless materials, so they didn't fear failure. After initial failures, the success rate began to increase, and the talisman masters became more proficient. Xiao Jin controlled the golden armor ancient talisman array, continuously distributing the produced golden armor ancient talismans. Some were given to the undead army, and others to the talisman masters. Xiao Jin adjusted according to the manufacturing speed of the talisman masters. Lin Moyu, on the other hand, was in another location, setting up another golden armor ancient talisman array. The Talisman Saint had brought the Talisman Association's array spirits and handed them over to Lin Moyu. The human race couldn't rely entirely on his talisman array. Eventually, his golden armor ancient talisman array would be taken back for his own use, so the human race also needed to have their own array cluster. The Talisman Association's array spirits were clearly not as powerful as Xiao Jin. When the number of arrays reached 1,000, it was already their limit. Compared to Xiao Jin's 10,000 arrays, it was far inferior. Fortunately, the Talisman Association had enough array spirits. The Talisman Saint gave Lin Moyu 6 array spirits in total. If each array spirit could control 1,000 arrays, they could manage several thousand arrays. Although still far from Xiao Jin, it was enough for use. After all, once the great battle ended, the human race would have plenty of time to produce golden armor ancient talismans. Using time to exchange for quantity, they could eventually catch up. Thanks to Lin Moyu's efforts, within a few months, another 1,000 golden armor ancient talisman arrays were added to the War God Fortress. Covering every warrior with golden armor ancient talismans was more than enough. By then, the combat power of the human race would reach its peak. One could imagine the despair of the 100 Races Alliance when faced with human warriors attacking like wolves and tigers without worrying about defense. Time passed year by year, and in the blink of an eye, 8 years had gone by. The great relocation project of the 100 Races Alliance was finally nearing its end. Over the past 8 years, Lin Moyu had spent most of his time in the War God Fortress, rarely going out. Occasionally, he would come out to chat and talk with Lin Mohan. The next battle plan had long been set, and from all the intelligence gathered, everything was proceeding according to his predictions, with no need for changes. During these 8 years, Little Mist had been diligently cultivating, always mumbling about wanting to help Lin Moyu. Unfortunately, she still had a playful nature, spending at least half her time playing with Little Bull. Despite the intermittent cultivation, Little Mist, with her extraordinary accumulation, had also reached the peak of divine Venerable. According to her, she would soon achieve the Bian realm. Once Little Mist reached the Bian realm, like Lin Mohan, she would become the second person in the human race to cross the Star River with her physical body and achieve the Bian realm without the blood path. She was destined to be recorded in the history of the human race. In the 8th year, Little Bull suddenly left and returned a few days later. Little Bull then entered the War God Fortress and met Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu asked, "You said the Heavenly Dragon has something for me." Little Bull nodded. The Heavenly Dragon sent a message saying that a group of people from the Black Blood Great Realm had intruded into the Boundary Land. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised. The people from the Black Blood Great Realm escaped. Little Bull shook its head. Not escaped, but returned. They came back from outside the domain. But now they have been intercepted by the Heavenly Dragon. Lin Moyu immediately understood that these people from the Black Blood Great Realm had returned from outside the domain. Lin Moyu asked, "Did the Heavenly Dragon say how many of them there are and what their strength is?" Little Bull said, "He didn't say that, but the Heavenly Dragon mentioned that they brought a very dangerous weapon, one that can deal with the human race's half-step supremes." Lin Moyu was instantly shocked. A weapon that could deal with the human race's half-step supremes. Is it the human emperor or Old Star? If the human race lost its half-step supremes, it would be disastrous for both this great battle and the future battle against the Do world. Fortunately, he had acted early and had the Heavenly Dragon seal off the Boundary Land. The people from the Black Blood Great Realm were intercepted halfway and couldn't bring the weapon back. Little Bull's eyes flickered, seemingly hesitant to speak. Lin Moyu noticed its unusual behavior. "What's wrong?" Little Bull opened its mouth and mooed. "The Heavenly Dragon said that if you don't bring back the Dragon Ball, he will release those people." Lin Moyu frowned upon hearing this. He believed the Heavenly Dragon would do it. The Heavenly Dragon, being a dragon, was courteous to him because of Antares. But the Dragon Ball he promised had not been seen, and the Heavenly Dragon would not trust him unconditionally. The Heavenly Dragon also said that the agreement between you two was not to let anyone escape from within the domain to outside. The people from the Black Blood Great Realm entered from outside the domain, not covered by your agreement. Lin Moyu couldn't help but laugh. He hadn't expected such a loophole in their agreement. But even without the loophole, if the Heavenly Dragon wanted to renege, there was nothing he could do. The Heavenly Dragon needed the Dragon Ball. Even one would allow the agreement to continue. The dragon-seeking ball given by the Heavenly Dragon could sense Dragon Balls within 1,000 light years. Lin Moyu had traveled all over the domain, but the dragon-seeking ball had never reacted. Finding a Dragon Ball in a short time was almost impossible. The Heavenly Dragon didn't specify a time, but it had already given a time frame. When the great battle began, if the Dragon Ball was still not found, the Heavenly Dragon would undoubtedly release those people from the Black Blood Great Realm. The Dragon Clan was not a race of the Great World. They didn't care about the life and death of the Great World. Lin Moyu knew that the only Dragon Ball he could currently obtain was the one in the Demon Clan. To get it, he would have to delve into the Demon Clan. He couldn't have done it before, but now with the Concealment Talisman, it wasn't impossible. I originally planned to completely wipe out the alien races before searching for the Dragon Ball. Since the Heavenly Dragon is in such a hurry, it seems the plan needs to be slightly adjusted. After calculating in his mind, excluding the time to travel to the Boundary Land, he had only a little over a year to retrieve the Dragon Ball, at most not exceeding a year and a half. No time to lose, he had to set off immediately. With a wave of his hand, he put away the Golden Armor Ancient Talisman Array Cluster. The human race now had enough talisman cards. Over the years, most of the Golden Armor Ancient Talismans had been supplied to the human race. Even without his Golden Armor Ancient Talisman Array, the remaining 1,000 arrays could still produce enough talisman cards. On the other hand, his undead army had not yet fully integrated with the Golden Armor Ancient Talismans. Lin Moyu informed several saints that he had something to attend to and would be leaving for a while. He then activated the Concealment Talisman and left silently. Chapter 2174, 2174. Chapter 2174, Sneaky like the Heavenly Venerable. The human race's base had always been under the surveillance of the 100 Races Alliance, and the same was true for the 100 Races Alliance's base. Both sides monitored each other, which was a necessary task. After Lin Moyu arrived at the front line and accomplished such a significant feat, his presence was already known to the 100 Races Alliance. Given Lin Moyu's reputation, the 100 Races Alliance would undoubtedly keep a close eye on him, watching his every move. This time, Lin Moyu left the War God Fortress using the concealment talisman to avoid the surveillance of the 100 Races Alliance. Apart from Lin Mohan, no one else knew about his departure. Even the saints were unaware. He was going to infiltrate the demon clan's star region, so secrecy was paramount. Lin Mohan did not stop him. As Lin Moyu's elder sister, she naturally understood that she couldn't stop him. Lin Moyu was not a child, he knew what he was doing and would not act recklessly. Little Mist stared blankly at the starry sky. Why did Master leave again? Lin Mohan showed a gentle expression and hugged Little Mist. Your master has his own tasks to do, and Little Mist has her own tasks too. Little Mist seemed to have thought of something and nodded vigorously. Yes, Little Mist is about to break through to the Bian realm. When Master returns, Little Mist might have already reached the Bian realm. Lin Mohan laughed. Then Little Mist must work hard. At the same time, she thought to herself that not only Little Mist but she also needed to work hard. Now, 90% of her law power had sublimated into rule power. This rule power, which she called world-destroying sword intent, was incredibly powerful. Previously, when she activated her sword intent and used spells, it was a mixture of laws and rules. Even then, she could fight across levels, slaying saints with her Bian realm power. Once she fully used rule power, her combat strength would be even greater. Slaying saints would be a piece of cake. The power of time and space flowed, accelerating Lin Moyu's time. Under the effect of the 3 light talismans, Lin Moyu's speed increased significantly. After flying billions of kilometers, a battleship appeared in the starry sky. The battleship's door opened, and space slightly distorted. The battleship then silently entered deep space, heading towards the demon clan. Lin Moyu's figure appeared inside the battleship. He took out some tea leaves, brewed himself some fragrant tea, and leisurely enjoyed it. He seemed to be on a trip to the demon clan, without any sense of danger. Looking at the colorful world outside the battleship, with space turbulence constantly flying by in deep space, for ordinary divine venerables, deep space was extremely dangerous. These space turbulences were deadly, and even a slight touch could cause injury. Only high-level divine venerables, protected by rule power, could survive in deep space, and even then, just barely. To move freely in deep space, one had to either reach the Saint Realm or possess space laws. Lin Moyu's space laws had reached 40%, allowing him to move freely in deep space. However, he still couldn't travel as fast as the battleship. Currently, only the Starfish clan had the ability for rapid travel in deep space. The human race's battleships were modified by them to achieve this ability. The specific array formations were being deciphered by the Human Emperor Network, but the process was complex, especially the application of space laws, which the Human Emperor Network couldn't handle. Once Lin Moyu fully mastered space laws and explained the principles to the Human Emperor Network, the human race could truly master deep space travel technology. The battleship silently traveled through deep space, getting closer to the demon clan. Lin Moyu remained relaxed and unhurried. During this time, Lin Moyu lived leisurely, while Xiao Jin was busy in his soul world. A large number of golden armor ancient talismans were being produced and distributed to the undead army by Xiao Jin. More and more undead soldiers were merging with the golden armor ancient talismans, significantly enhancing their defense, enough to withstand a full-force attack from the Bian realm. The combat strength of the undead army increased dramatically, capable of besieging the Bian realm even without using the Skeleton King. A month later, the battleship emerged in the starry sky and was then put away by Lin Moyu. He entered a concealed state, blending into the laws, making himself invisible. He had returned to the demon clan's star region after many years. His previous appearance had caused some trouble for the demon clan, not much harm but highly insulting. This time, he didn't know what would happen, nor did he care. I hope I can get the Dragon Ball smoothly. It's not time to deal with you yet, Lin Moyu muttered to himself with a hint of disdain. He didn't take the demon clan seriously at all. After a few steps, Lin Moyu entered the barrier and once again stepped into the demon clan's star region. Activating the 3 light talismans, he sped towards his destination at 900 million kilometers per second. The demon clan's barrier and abyssal demon eye were unaware of his arrival, and the starry sky remained peaceful. At the front line, the demon clan had dispatched at least 300 million troops, mostly elite forces. Now, the demon clan was short of strength. If Lin Moyu really wanted to act, whether it was the Bone Hell or the Undead Army, it would be enough to give the demon clan a hard time. However, Lin Moyu was no longer interested in such small skirmishes. He had bigger plans to uproot the 100 Races Alliance, including the demon clan. In the star map given by the Heavenly Dragon, the Dragon Ball is located in the core area of the demon clan. At my current speed, it would take several years to reach the core area of the demon clan. However, the internal defenses of the demon clan are not as tight as the outer regions. At least the space is not completely sealed, and I can use the battleship. Lin Moyu knew the demon clan well. Their defense system was tight on the outside but loose on the inside. They had set up numerous barriers within 100 light-years of their star region, sealing the space and prohibiting teleportation. Similarly, deep space was also sealed, preventing deep space travel. However, the internal area did not have such tight defenses. Otherwise, prohibiting teleportation and deep space travel would hinder the development and operation of the demon clan. In fact, many races, including the human race and the Golden Eagle clan, used this type of defense. As long as the outer defenses held, the internal area would be secure. Who would have thought that a monster like Lin Moyu would appear in the human race? With a concealment talisman, he could ignore the demon clan's defenses. The 100 light-year defense depth was enough, but Lin Moyu also had the power of time and space. At full speed, he could cross 100 light-years in just over 10 days. Sure enough, 15 days after entering the demon clan, Lin Moyu sensed a change in space. He took out the battleship again and entered deep space, heading towards the core area. This time, Lin Moyu didn't remain idle. He took out a prepared talisman array and enveloped the battleship. The battleship became almost invisible, rendering the demon clan's deep space surveillance system useless. Lin Moyu chuckled to himself, if the Holy Rune Heavenly Venerable knew I was using his runes for sneaky activities, I wonder if he would come to kill me. In his mind, the Holy Rune Heavenly Venerable would surely make a grand entrance. But on second thought, Lin Moyu realized he was wrong. The Holy Rune Heavenly Venerable had also done sneaky things. He had secretly infiltrated the Yunwu sect and left his inheritance in their legacy pearl. In this sense, they were the same kind of people. Chapter 2175, 2175. Chapter 2175, when you have to use your trump card, you use it. Using the talisman array greatly enhanced the battleship's stealth capabilities, rendering the demon clan's surveillance abilities useless. However, the cost was a significant reduction in the battleship's speed. What originally would have taken half a month now took 2 months. Lin Moyu believed that spending a bit more time was worth it as long as he could successfully retrieve the Dragon Ball. The battleship emerged from the void and then immediately disappeared. Lin Moyu merged into the laws, observing the starry sky. The nearest demon clan star system was at least 3 light-years away, and the surroundings were empty, with nothing in sight. He took out the dragon-seeking ball, which immediately reacted and pointed the way. The dragon-seeking ball was magical. It would map the surrounding starry sky and form a star map on the ball. It would then mark the location of the Dragon Ball. Lin Moyu checked and found that it was about 70 light-years away. At his speed, he could reach it in 8 days. It seems the information the Heavenly Dragon obtained is from many years ago. Over the years, the location of the Dragon Ball has changed. I just don't know if anyone has obtained it. Lin Moyu thought that not many people would recognize the Dragon Ball. If an ordinary demon got it, they might hide it and treat it as a collectible. If someone recognized it, things would become troublesome. He activated the 3 light talismans, wrapping himself and pushing his speed to the limit. Lin Moyu moved like a ghost, freely traversing the demon clan's star region. By now, he had been in the demon clan's star region for 3 months, and no one had discovered his presence. As he entered the core area, the density of star systems began to increase sharply. The stars in the star systems were mostly dim red, looking like demonic eyes, grim and fierce. This was the territory of the Hell Demons. When he reached the Abyss Demon's starry sky, the stars would turn dark green, even more eerie and terrifying. On the 7th day, Lin Moyu was only 10 light-years away from his destination. A star system appeared in his sight, and Lin Moyu judged the distance, feeling slightly uneasy. The Dragon Ball seems to be in the star system. Lin Moyu thought to himself, feeling that things were not going well. If the Dragon Ball was in the star system, it was likely already discovered. Lin Moyu wasn't afraid of the Dragon Ball falling into the hands of a strong person. There couldn't be any strong person here. Even if it was a Bian realm expert, he could kill them if he wanted to. The key issue was that once he made a move, it would inevitably cause a commotion. He was no longer in the peripheral area, where he could leave whenever he wanted. If the demon clan really decided to fight, it would be difficult for him to escape. Moreover, he wouldn't forget that the demon lord was here. The old half-step supreme, he didn't want to provoke for now. As he advanced, Lin Moyu's thoughts raced, considering many possibilities. If he really had to make a move and the demon lord arrived, how should he respond? Use his trump card to kill the demon lord? Or try to negotiate with the demon lord? Would that guy negotiate with him? There seemed to be no room for negotiation between the two races, especially with such a good opportunity. The demon lord would definitely not let him go. It seems that if the demon lord really comes, I'll have to use my trump card. It's a bit wasteful, but the people from the Black Blood Great Realm absolutely cannot return to the domain. And that weapon capable of killing a half-step supreme must also be in my hands. Lin Moyu made up his mind that when he had to use his trump card, he would use it. As long as he could get the Dragon Ball, it would be worth it. The star system in his sight kept enlarging, and Lin Moyu sensed vigorous life force. The eye of the soul opened, seeing countless soul flames. There were many demons in this star system, numbering in the billions, with the weakest being at the peak of the true God realm, and most being God Kings. This was the core area of the demon clan, where those with low realms or poor bloodlines were not qualified to enter. There were also some God Sovereigns, but they were mostly low-level God Sovereigns. There were only 2 high-level God Sovereigns. Given the demon clan's strength, it was impossible for there to be only 2 high-level God Sovereigns in the core area's star systems. It could only mean that the demon clan had sent most of their forces to the front lines, leaving their internal strength depleted. In fact, the human race was in a similar situation now. However, the human race's formations were too strong, and the human emperor network monitored the entire human race, so they had no worries about anyone sneaking in. In reality, the demon clan never thought anyone could sneak in either. A day later, Lin Moyu crossed the last 10 light years and arrived in front of the star system. He observed the star system, which had 2 blazing stars. The 2 stars wrapped around the star system, constantly rotating, making the entire star system like a furnace. Many hell demons liked this environment. The power of the stars could help them cultivate. It was said that part of the demonic fire came from the stars. Under the wrapping of the 2 stars, there were 4 planets. The 4 planets also rotated like the stars, and their speed was not slow. The planets were full of flames and lava, with countless demons bathing in the lava, enjoying the immense power of the flames. The demon clan's cultivation was simple and crude. They relied on their bloodlines, inherently powerful, and didn't need to comprehend laws or understand their true selves like the human race. Demons only needed to absorb power to grow quickly. In the early stages, they were indeed stronger than the human race, but in the later stages, the human race could rise against the odds, continuously breaking through. The demon clan, on the other hand, would be limited by their bloodlines and ultimately unable to reach the true peak. The Dragon Ball is in the star system, but it's hard to pinpoint its exact location. The dragon-seeking ball could locate the Dragon Ball within a range of 1,000 light years. But it also had a problem: poor accuracy. The Dragon Ball was located in the star system in front of him, but its exact position couldn't be pinpointed. Compared to the location given by Antares, it was far less accurate. At this point, the dragon-seeking ball was no longer reliable. He could only rely on himself. The Dragon Ball had a unique aura, and Lin Moyu thought that with his soul's sensitivity, he might be able to sense it. The eye of the soul opened, and with the soul of a saint, Lin Moyu saw countless lines of laws. Every detail of the star system was presented before his eyes. Lin Moyu took a deep breath and, using the concealment talisman, entered the star system. He passed by the stars and saw many God-sovereign demons in the starry sky, bathing in the stars' light. The stars' light fell on them, turning into flames that engulfed them. Yet these demons seemed to enjoy it immensely. Now this is a real sunbath. Lin Moyu recalled a term from his previous life. Compared to these demons, the sunbaths of his previous life were nothing. He passed by these demons, flying towards the star system's interior, with the eye of the soul continuously scanning the entire star field, not missing an inch. Someone was watching me, but he looked around and saw no one, not even a ghost. He looked at a nearby demon and growled, "Is it you watching me?" The demon ignored him, pretending not to hear. "Dare to ignore me?" He roared in anger and immediately charged over, starting a fight. Flames exploded in the starry sky, shaking the star system continuously. Lin Moyu watched silently, thinking, such a bad temper, the hell demons really have a bad temper. He didn't bother with these guys and quickly approached the planet. Suddenly, his pupils shrank slightly. This is Chapter 2176, 2176. Chapter 2176, Why Refine the Dragon Ball? In the center of the star system, surrounded by 4 planets, a barrier shimmered brightly. This barrier belonging to the demon clan wasn't large, but it emitted an aura that made even Lin Moyu feel shocked. This barrier was personally set up by the demon lord. Lin Moyu instinctively made this judgment. In the entire demon clan, apart from the demon lord, no one could set up a barrier of this level. Besides the demon lord, perhaps only those powerful demons from ancient times could set up such a barrier. Lin Moyu carefully examined the barrier, sensing its aura, and roughly understood its purpose. The barrier's function was to block outsiders, not allowing anyone to enter. The whole scene became strange. In the core area of the demon clan, at the center of a seemingly ordinary star system, why set up such a barrier? What did the demon lord want to hide? Could the Dragon Ball be inside the barrier? Reasoning from the barrier, Lin Moyu's gaze swept across the starry sky, finally discovering the unusual nature of the entire star system. This star system wasn't naturally formed, it had obvious signs of artificial processing. The 2 suns not only provided heat for the 4 planets but also supplied energy for the barrier. As long as the suns existed, the barrier's energy would be endless, making it impossible to break through by force. Lin Moyu judged that even if a saint came, it would take a great effort to force their way in. At the same time, forcibly attacking the barrier would trigger a chain reaction, leading to the direct destruction of the suns. By then, the demon lord would naturally know that something had happened to the barrier he set up. I wonder if this barrier can stop me. Some things need to be tried to know, but naturally, one shouldn't try blindly. Lin Moyu wouldn't do anything reckless. He first carefully searched the star system over and over, spending 3 days repeatedly searching to confirm there was no trace of the Dragon Ball. Finally, he turned his attention back to the barrier. Since it couldn't be found in the star system, it could only be inside the barrier. The dragon-seeking ball wouldn't be wrong. Lin Moyu approached the barrier, carefully examining it repeatedly with his soul eye. The omnipresent law lines could also penetrate the barrier. In theory, now that he had merged with the laws, he should also be able to enter the barrier. But entering was one thing, doing so silently was another matter. Lin Moyu continuously sensed the changes between the inside and outside of the barrier through the law lines. Gradually, a smile appeared on his lips. The laws did change after entering the barrier, just like light being refracted when entering water. This change wasn't strong, but it was enough to make him temporarily separate from the laws. Even if only for an instant, the barrier would detect his presence. The solution was simple. One was to strengthen his fusion with the laws, never separating from them. The second was to deceive the barrier, making it unable to detect him. With the laws changing, it was almost impossible not to separate from them. The first method was abandoned, he could only choose the second. The method to deceive the barrier was to use space-time power, temporarily entering another space-time, separating from the real world. With his current mastery of space-time power, Lin Moyu was confident he could maintain that special state for 1 second. 1 second was enough for him to do many things, including re-merging with the laws. Having made up his mind, Lin Moyu immediately took action. Invisible space-time power flowed down, enveloping his entire body. Lin Moyu took a step forward, entering the barrier. The laws changed, with subtle differences between the laws inside and outside the barrier. Lin Moyu temporarily separated from the laws, unable to maintain the merged state. His form appeared inside the barrier. Normally, the barrier would immediately detect him and sound an alarm. But the barrier seemed to ignore Lin Moyu. He stood there, but the barrier didn't detect him at all. This was the power of space-time. Although Lin Moyu was here, he was actually in another space-time. The confusion of time successfully deceived the barrier, also deceiving the demon's perception. Although the time was only a brief second, it was completely sufficient. Lin Moyu activated the concealment talisman again, silently re-merging with the laws. His form completely disappeared, invisible to the naked eye and difficult to sense. From his previous experiences, Lin Moyu knew that as long as he maintained a certain distance, even saints would find it difficult to detect him. Only half-step supreme beings like the Demon Lord would be able to sense his presence. Lin Moyu surveyed the world inside the barrier. Inside this barrier, there was actually an independent space. This space was not small, like a small world, with a diameter of tens of millions of kilometers. 3 transcendent realm demons were positioned at 3 corners of the world, forming an array, continuously exerting the power of rules. The power of rules transformed into raging flames, converging at the center of the space, as if roasting something. Lin Moyu felt that they had been doing this for many years. With the power of rules at the transcendent realm, what could need to be burned for so many years? Lin Moyu ignored the 3 transcendent realm demons and flew towards the center. Through the crimson demon flames, Lin Moyu saw clearly what they were roasting. At the same time, as he approached the center, he also sensed an unusual aura. The Dragon Ball. Lin Moyu showed a hint of joy. He had finally found the Dragon Ball. The 3 transcendent realm demons were indeed roasting the Dragon Ball. Are they refining the Dragon Ball? It seems the heavenly dragon's Dragon Ball isn't easy to refine. The Demon Lord's aura still lingers here. It seems the Demon Lord also participated in refining the Dragon Ball before leaving for some reason. Why refine the Dragon Ball? What use could the Dragon Ball have for non-dragon race people? Lin Moyu thought of the Starry Sky Tree back then. The Starry Sky Tree also wanted to obtain Antares' Dragon Ball. Clearly, it also wanted to get something from the Dragon Ball. Now, the Demon Clan also wanted to obtain something from the Heavenly Dragon's Dragon Ball. But why refine it here? This place is obviously not a good location. The Demon Lord could have taken it back to refine. Could there be some inside story here? Lin Moyu continued to approach, and gradually, he discovered something was amiss. Around the Dragon Ball, there was a faint vortex. The vortex was like a large hand, firmly grasping the Dragon Ball, not letting it leave. It was because of the vortex's existence that the Demon Lord couldn't take away the Dragon Ball. Lin Moyu was in a dilemma. If even the Demon Lord couldn't take away the Dragon Ball, how could he take it away? The vortex rotated slowly but steadily in the flames, emitting an attractive force that firmly held the Dragon Ball, preventing it from leaving. Lin Moyu looked at the vortex, finding it increasingly strange and familiar. The vortex was 3 parts like a secret realm and 7 parts like a copy in a small world. He observed carefully and found that the flames were not only refining the Dragon Ball but also continuously pouring into the vortex. It wasn't clear whether the flames were entering voluntarily or being sucked in by the vortex, but the flames kept pouring into the vortex. If there was another world behind the vortex, it would surely be consumed by the flames, turning into a sea of fire. Lin Moyu pondered. At present, this problem seemed unsolvable. After thinking for a long time, he could only come up with one solution. It seems I can only go in and take a look. Chapter 2177, 2177. Chapter 2177, The World Left Behind by the Water and Fire Clan. The closer Lin Moyu got to the vortex, the more clearly he could feel the aura of the Dragon Ball. He was certain of his feeling. The vortex was continuously generating suction, firmly holding the Dragon Ball. At the same time, this suction was also drawing in a large amount of flames. The Dragon Ball floated within the flames, showing no signs of being refined. Having decided to proceed, Lin Moyu acted decisively. He rushed towards the vortex, diving into the flames, and without resisting the suction, he plunged into it. Because of his appearance, the flames twisted slightly, immediately drawing the attention of the 3 transcendent realm demons. One demon growled, "Why do I feel like someone was just here?" His voice echoed within the barrier, deafening. "Are you seeing things? There's no one here." "Exactly, I didn't feel anything. With the Demon Lord's barrier, how could anyone be here? Maybe you fell asleep and were dreaming." The demon looked around, seeing no one, and could only assume he was mistaken or had indeed fallen asleep. After all, they had been here for hundreds of years without rest. The Dragon Ball remained unchanged, just as when they first arrived. If not for the Demon Lord's orders, they would have long given up. The demon sighed, maybe I was wrong. It's so boring here, I wonder when someone will come to replace us. Another demon responded, the demon lord said to refine the Dragon Ball for 500 years. It's been 389 years, so 111 years remain. 111 years. This is unbearable, even sending some female demons would be nice. Don't think too much, be careful, or the demon lord will come and kill you. The demon lord hasn't been here for a long time. I wonder what he's doing. Is the demon lord's business something we can meddle in? Just behave and follow orders. The clan doesn't lack 3 transcendent realms like us. Their discussion made the barrier lively for a while. Lin Moyu entered the vortex, and his vision became clear again. A fragrant scent of flowers filled his nose, bringing a hint of freshness. However, the scent and the scene were in stark contrast. Flames fell from the sky, covering the ground, which was engulfed in blazing fire. Amidst the flames, beautiful flowers bloomed, forming a spectacular sea of fire flowers. The floral scent rose from the flames, without any heat, refreshing the soul. The scene was so bizarre that Lin Moyu was stunned. These flowers felt completely different from normal flowers in the great world. Lin Moyu thought of the flowers in the Bone Hell, which grew on the banks of the Hellfire River. The flames of the Hellfire River also burned these flowers, but they were unafraid of fire. The more intense the hellfire burned, the more beautiful the flowers became. The flowers in the Bone Hell and the fire flowers before him had a similar nature. Lin Moyu flew forward. The space behind the vortex was vast, with no end in sight. The laws here changed again. The law lines were no longer continuous, making it impossible for Lin Moyu to hide. Since he couldn't hide, he decided to be open. Skeleton divine generals flew out continuously, exploring the surroundings. Sending out skeleton divine generals had become Lin Moyu's instinct. Whether in dungeons or secret realms, his first reaction was to let the skeletons scout the terrain, ensuring he knew the layout. The skeleton divine generals continuously sent back maps, revealing a vast plain with no hills or mountains. It seemed that even if there had been mountains, they had been burned flat by the flames. After flying a distance, the skeleton divine generals reported finding a river. Lin Moyu flew over and soon saw the river. The water was crystal clear, with a visible bottom, flowing through the fiery land. The flames didn't burn the river, and the river didn't extinguish the flames. They coexisted harmoniously, each doing its own thing. With the river as a reference, Lin Moyu followed it upstream. The river widened, from hundreds of meters to thousands, then tens of thousands of meters. Eventually, the river became a vast river, with clear water rolling up huge waves, crashing against the banks. After a long journey, the river's width reached 100,000 meters. This space was vast, exceeding Lin Moyu's imagination. After flying for a long time, Lin Moyu finally reached the river's end. It was an endless ocean, with huge waves roaring. From all directions, rivers and streams flowed into the ocean. The flames ended here, unable to advance further. The endless ocean stopped the flames. The skeleton divine generals had almost mapped out the terrain. The ocean's width was unknown. It split into countless tributaries, each becoming a vast river, flowing in all directions. Where there were no rivers, flames burned endlessly. Water and fire world. Lin Moyu thought of an ancient race. In ancient times, there was a powerful race called the Water and Fire Clan. They lived in a world of water and fire but eventually disappeared for unknown reasons. Little information about them remained, only that they lived in a world of water and fire. Could this be the world left behind by the Water and Fire Clan? The skeleton divine generals continued to explore while Lin Moyu sensed the world. A peculiar power spread from the ocean, extending through the rivers to the entire world. Similarly, a strange power spread through the flames, covering the entire world. The two powers intertwined, forming a strong force, stronger than either alone. It was like the laws of water and fire had merged, amplifying each other. After sensing for half a day, Lin Moyu flew towards the ocean's center. There, the skeleton divine generals had found an island. On the island was a huge coffin. Lin Moyu flew to the island, looking down at the coffin. The coffin was engraved with numerous patterns, half representing water and half representing fire. The coffin was ancient, exuding an aura from ancient times. Lin Moyu guessed it might have existed since ancient times. It might contain a powerful being from the Water and Fire clan, at least a supreme, worthy of such a burial. Finally, you have come. The coffin suddenly opened, and a voice emerged. Lin Moyu was startled. There was someone inside the ancient coffin. Waves from the ocean surged into the coffin, and flames turned into pillars, also entering the coffin. As the coffin fully opened, a huge creature, half water and half fire, slowly rose from it. Chapter 2178 Chapter 2178, 2178. Chapter 2178, another setup by the mysterious master. After rising from the coffin, it looked up at Lin Moyu. Although it had no eyes, Lin Moyu could feel that it was looking at him. Lin Moyu also looked at it. It was half water and half fire, with the left side being water and the right side being fire, standing about 100 meters tall. Lin Moyu could sense that it had once been very powerful, still exuding an ancient aura. At this level, body size was no longer important. The size of a strong person could change according to their will. Lin Moyu was still thinking about what it had just said. Finally, you have come. Was it waiting for him? Or was it waiting for the human race? Lin Moyu asked, were you waiting for me? The water and fire clan being's voice was deep, perhaps, perhaps not. Lin Moyu immediately understood its meaning. It was waiting for the human race, but not necessarily for him. It raised its right hand made of flames, which continuously changed, eventually forming a mass of intense fire. This mass of fire was very peculiar, like a seed, but also seemed incredibly terrifying. Lin Moyu's pupils contracted slightly, and he also raised his hand, revealing the world-destroying fire seed in his palm. After years of nurturing, the world-destroying fire seed had grown much stronger, from a small flame to a mass of fire. Upon seeing the world-destroying fire seed, the water and fire clan being said in a deep voice, the master was right, you have finally come. Master. Lin Moyu immediately thought of that mysterious master. Using the world-destroying fire seed as a token, who else could it be but that mysterious master? The water and fire clan being gradually shrank, finally stabilizing at around 2 meters tall. Lin Moyu also descended from the air. Two different races, connected by that mysterious master, established a relationship. It performed a human race salute towards Lin Moyu. I am Shuiwo, the ancestor of the water and fire clan. Lin Moyu responded with a human race salute, Lin Moyu of the human race. He had already guessed its identity in his heart, but he was still somewhat shocked. It was actually the ancestor of the water and fire clan, the founder of a clan. How powerful must it have been? The supreme was a given, and it was highly likely to be a heavenly venerable. According to records, the water and fire clan was once very powerful, so the possibility of it being a heavenly venerable was very high. However, now its power was long gone. In Lin Moyu's perception, it was only comparable to the Bian realm. Shuiwo's voice was deep. The master asked me to wait here for you and give you some things. It extended a hand, and the coffin automatically opened, revealing a box hidden beneath it. The box was an ancient box but different from ordinary ancient boxes. On the surface of the box, there seemed to be a mass of flames flowing, gray flames, exuding an aura identical to the world-destroying fire seed. But compared to Lin Moyu's world-destroying fire seed, the flames on the box were obviously purer. Shuiwo said, everything the master wants to give you is inside. You can use the world-destroying fire to refine it. Once refined, you can open it. It seemed to have some fear of the flames on the box. Lin Moyu walked over, wrapped his hand in the world-destroying fire seed, and picked up the box. The flames on the box were extremely terrifying, capable of burning the world, even injuring the soul of a heavenly venerable. Anyone else wouldn't be able to touch this box, even a saint wouldn't be qualified. Only Lin Moyu, who also possessed the world-destroying fire seed, could safely pick it up. After picking up the box, Lin Moyu asked softly, is there anything else? Shuiwo said, the master also said you might need my help, but I don't know what I can do for you. I have been temporarily revived, with little time left, and my power is less than a billionth of my peak, only comparable to a saint. Shuiwo's tone was calm, as if waiting for Lin Moyu to say what he needed. It wasn't good at thinking, perhaps because it had been dead for too long and was no longer used to thinking. Or maybe it was just naturally unwilling to think. However, because of Shuiwo's appearance, Lin Moyu had a deeper understanding of that mysterious master's power. That mysterious master had clearly calculated that he would come, regardless of the method used, and had calculated it accurately. So, he left these things, using the world-destroying fire seed as a token, to leave them for Lin Moyu. He had calculated it all too clearly. Not only did he calculate that I would come, but he also calculated that I would need to take the Dragon Ball. The Dragon Ball cannot be taken directly. As long as the world of the Water and Fire clan exists, I cannot contend with a world. To obtain the Dragon Ball, I must first destroy this world while avoiding the Demon Clan's pursuit. The purpose of Shuiwo's existence is precisely for this. Lin Moyu said, "Do you have any last wishes? Perhaps I can help you fulfill them." Shuiwo nodded, extending a hand, and hundreds of seeds flew out from the coffin. Each seed was the size of a fist, looking like a mass of water, but with a core of intense fire. Water and fire perfectly fused within the seeds, without any conflict. Shuiwo said, "These are the seeds of our Water and Fire clan. If there is a chance in the future." Lin Moyu understood its meaning. It didn't want the Water and Fire clan to be extinct. Lin Moyu took the seeds and solemnly promised, "Rest assured, if there is a suitable opportunity, I will ensure the Water and Fire clan reappears and lives well." "Thank you." Shuiwo sincerely thanked him and bowed to Lin Moyu. Lin Moyu said, "Next, I need your help. Please, tell me." Lin Moyu explained his plan, and Shuiwo agreed without hesitation. A mass of intense flames erupted from Lin Moyu's palm, the world-destroying fire engulfing the world, beginning to refine this small world. Shuiwo let out a sharp cry, and the ocean of flames surged towards it. Shuiwo's aura rapidly strengthened, while the small world quickly shrank. Such a large world, if Lin Moyu wanted to refine it with the world-destroying fire, it would take hundreds of years. But now, with Shuiwo's cooperation, it would only take a day. The world contained the power of the world's origin. Refining the world with the world-destroying fire could yield world crystals. World crystals were materials for constructing a perfect rule world, extremely precious. All the water and fire power in the world converged, and Shuiwo's aura grew stronger, quickly breaking through the Bian realm and reaching the saint level. Lin Moyu discovered that the power accumulated by the demon clan over countless years was ultimately absorbed by Shuiwo, becoming its power. Flame flowers flew up, landing on Shuiwo's right hand, turning into a giant flaming sword. At the same time, countless streams of water converged on its left hand, forming an ice battle blade. Ice blade and fire sword, Shuiwo's aura reached its peak. The peak of the saint level, although not as strong as the demon lord, was already very powerful. After all, it had been dead for countless years. To temporarily reach this level was already incredible. Outside the small world, within the barrier, the three Bian realm demons sensed something was wrong. They felt the vortex's power fluctuating violently, becoming extremely unstable. "What happened? I don't know, the vortex seems unstable. Strange, it looks unchanged, but why do I feel uneasy? Should we inform the demon lord? No rush, let's wait and see." The three Bian realm demons exchanged glances and decided to wait and see. Half a day later, the vortex suddenly exploded. Chapter 2179, 2179. Chapter 2179, You attract the fire, I'll retreat first. Water and fire converged in the starry sky, quickly transforming into the form of the water-fire ancestor. The water-fire ancestor, wielding an ice war blade and a flaming fire sword, swept through the starry sky with a murderous aura. The faces of the three demons in the other shore realm changed drastically. They did not understand what was happening. Facing the murderous water-fire ancestor, they instinctively turned to flee in terror. But it was too late. A flash of fire, and the three screamed simultaneously. Their bodies were cut in half by the flaming fire sword, and even the barrier was shattered into pieces. Flames burst out of the barrier, sweeping across the starry sky, spreading across the entire galaxy almost instantly. 4 planets and 2 stars were simultaneously engulfed by the flames and exploded with a roar. In an instant, the galaxy was completely destroyed, and billions of demons died on the spot without exception. The flames surged, and the demons in the other shore realm whose bodies were shattered were still trying to escape. For them, the physical body was not a major concern. As long as their souls remained intact, they could survive. They moved quickly, about to escape the galaxy in the blink of an eye, but suddenly all 3 stopped simultaneously. A layer of ice covered their bodies, the coldness unimaginable. The flames extinguished within the ice, and their souls lost consciousness. The water-fire ancestor slaughtered the 3 demons in the other shore realm with overwhelming force, as easily as chopping vegetables. The water-fire ancestor charged out of the galaxy, heading towards the nearest galaxy. The original galaxy had completely turned into a sea of fire, with nothing left. In the flames, a hand reached out and grabbed the dragon pearl. Then the dragon pearl disappeared, and Lin Moyu left as the galaxy collapsed, parting ways with the water fire ancestor. The three light talismans circulated, and Lin Moyu traversed billions of kilometers in a short time, then took out a battleship and plunged into deep space. Using runes to shield the battleship's presence, he flew towards the distance. Sitting in the battleship, Lin Moyu's eyes were filled with contemplation. With such a big commotion, the Demon Lord must already know. At the Demon Lord's speed, it won't take long to arrive. The presence of the water fire ancestor is enough to attract the Demon Lord's attention. I just don't know how long the water fire ancestor can hold out against the Demon Lord. The water fire ancestor said he was temporarily resurrected and didn't have much time, but he didn't specify how long. If the battle is intense enough, his existence time will decrease. If there's no fighting, then the time will increase. Hopefully, he can hold on for a few more days. Lin Moyu couldn't make a judgment and could only rely on luck. After the battleship had flown for half a day, Lin Moyu felt a vibration from space. He knew the Demon Lord had arrived and was already fighting the water fire ancestor. The battle between the two was extremely fierce. Although the water fire ancestor only had the cultivation of the Saint Sovereign realm, he had once stood at the top, and his secret techniques were likely numerous. Facing the Demon Lord, he could probably hold out for a while. Lin Moyu accelerated away, flying in another direction. Time passed day by day, and in the blink of an eye, a month had passed. During this time, Lin Moyu made no moves, only carefully sensing the information transmitted back from space. The battle between the Demon Lord and the water fire ancestor continued without stopping. The strength of the water fire ancestor exceeded Lin Moyu's expectations. A month later, the bottle's aftershocks began to weaken. Lin Moyu knew it was because he had moved farther away, so the aftershocks he sensed were becoming fainter. But as long as the aftershocks were still there, it meant the battle continued, and the water fire ancestor was still alive. The strength of the water fire ancestor completely exceeded expectations. If he can hold on for another month, I'll be safe. Lin Moyu's speed was much faster than when he came. In another month, he would reach the edge of the demon territory. At that time, he wouldn't need the battleship and could use the concealment talisman to cross the edge of the demon star field alone, making it difficult for the Demon Lord to find him. 28 days passed as Lin Moyu waited, with only 2 days remaining. 20 days ago, he could no longer feel any spatial fluctuations. Lin Moyu didn't know if the water fire ancestor was still there, guessing that he was probably gone. Suddenly, the battleship seemed to crash into a quagmire and couldn't move forward. Space is locked. Lin Moyu quickly put away the battleship and exited deep space. The concealment talisman was activated immediately, and Lin Moyu merged into the laws. He quickly adjusted his law frequency to synchronize with the locked space. A few seconds later, the 3 light talismans flashed, and he sped forward at 9 billion kilometers per second. At this moment, he confirmed that the water fire ancestor had dissipated, and the Demon Lord had discovered the Dragon Pearl was missing, immediately activating a barrier to lock the space. Fortunately, he was not far from the edge of the territory. Even without the battleship, he could reach the edge in 10 days. As long as the Demon Lord didn't come nearby within those 10 days, no one could find him. It's all up to luck now. Lin Moyu's heart moved, and he activated the luck burst technique, with the sound of dragon roars suddenly echoing around him. Luck turned into a dragon, and Lin Moyu pushed his luck to the extreme. Luck, to most people, is mysterious and hard to explain. But to Lin Moyu, it was very clear. Luck is a kind of virtual power under the law of causality. Although it is illusory, it truly exists, just that ordinary people cannot see or touch it. In the inheritance of the illusory mist Heavenly Sovereign, the virtual power envelops the entire great world. All operations within the great world cannot escape its influence. It is like an invisible hand behind the scenes, directing everything. As long as luck is good enough and the virtual power is strong enough, nothing is impossible to change. If you look at a larger scale, at the level of the world sea, the great world also seems to be subject to virtual power, with a larger net controlling a larger world. Of course, Lin Moyu was far from reaching that level. All he could do was push his luck to the extreme, perhaps avoiding some trouble. After all, many things are not afraid of 10,000, just in case. Lin Moyu didn't look back, just kept moving forward. The luck burst technique operated again and again, and Lin Moyu always kept his luck at the extreme. If the Demon Lord still found him, he could only consider himself unlucky. Time seemed to pass very slowly, and Lin Moyu knew that the closer he got to the edge, the more dangerous it was. If he were the Demon Lord, he would certainly set up defenses at the edge. During these days, Lin Moyu felt the Demon Lord's aura more than once. But the distance was far, and the Demon Lord did not discover his presence. Perhaps the luck burst technique worked, and of course, the concealment talisman also contributed. The combination of the two finally allowed Lin Moyu to reach the edge of the demon territory. The barrier at the edge had not changed at all, just like when he came. Didn't the Demon Lord strengthen the barrier? It's normal if he didn't. After all, the time was too short, and the demon star field is vast. He didn't know which way I would go. The barrier can't stop me. If I were the Demon Lord, what would I do? Let me leave? Impossible. Since the Demon Lord wants to refine the Dragon Pearl, it must be of great use. The Dragon Pearl has been in his hands for so many years. Even if it hasn't been refined, leaving a mark shouldn't be difficult. Lin Moyu guessed the Demon Lord's method. The Demon Lord must have left a mark on the Dragon Pearl. As long as he carried the Dragon Pearl out of a certain range, the mark would activate, and the Demon Lord would know the direction of the Dragon Pearl. But, Lin Moyu couldn't help but smile. This kind of mark might work on ordinary storage artifacts, but his storage space was too special, and the Demon Lord's mark probably wouldn't work. Lin Moyu believed in his judgment, using the concealment talisman to rush into the barrier, disappearing without a trace. Chapter 2180, 2180. Chapter 2180, The Seed of the Undying Flame. The Demon Lord was nearly insane, and the terrifying aura of a half-step supreme spread throughout the entire star region. Lin Moyu could feel the space trembling, undulating like ocean waves, containing the Demon Lord's anger. Several months had passed since the appearance of the Water and Fire Ancestor, and the Demon Lord seemed to have realized that the Dragon Ball could never be retrieved. Lin Moyu traversed the starry sky silently. As long as the Dragon Ball hadn't returned to the Heavenly Dragon, he couldn't relax. Half a month later, Lin Moyu completely left the Demon Clan's star region. He didn't immediately take out his battleship but waited until he was several hundred billion kilometers away before taking it out and entering deep space. The battleship flew straight towards the boundary land. There was still a year left until the planned battle, enough time for Lin Moyu to make a round trip to the boundary land. Moreover, Lin Moyu knew that the front lines wouldn't start the battle until he returned. This battle was crucial for him and equally important for the human race. While the battleship flew through deep space, Lin Moyu didn't let his guard down. His thoughts raced as he put himself in the Demon Lord's shoes to think. If I were the Demon Lord and knew the Dragon Ball was lost, the first thing I would think of would be the Heavenly Dragon. So, as long as the Dragon Ball hasn't returned to the Heavenly Dragon, intercepting it halfway. This is the last chance to retrieve the Dragon Ball. The Demon Lord's true body won't leave. Once he leaves the Demon Clan's star region, his strength is only at the peak of the Saint Realm. Although his avatar is weaker than his true body, the difference isn't much, so he will send his avatar to intercept. No, not just the Demon Lord's avatar, but possibly the Eagle Emperor's avatar and the Half-Step Supreme from the Black Blood Great Realm. They don't know which route I will take, but undoubtedly, they will set up defenses around the Heavenly Dragon. Lin Moyu believed his thoughts were correct. The Demon Lord would not be willing to lose the Dragon Ball. Facing the Demon Lord, the concealment talisman's effect would be greatly reduced, even rendered useless. If he forced his way through, he would have to face 3 saints. One of them might even be a half-step supreme. If they are just avatars, I will force my way through. If the true body of the Black Blood Great Realm's half-step supreme comes, then I won't hold back. Lin Moyu considered various scenarios, remaining highly vigilant, but in his heart, he didn't take them seriously. After all, it wasn't a life-and-death confrontation, and Lin Moyu was more than 80% confident he could break through their encirclement. The battleship moved farther and farther away from the Demon Clan's star region, finally losing all sense of the Demon Clan's presence. Lin Moyu exhaled and began to examine himself. By refining the Water and Fire world with the world-destroying fire, he obtained a world crystal. Now, Lin Moyu had 2 world crystals, one from the Starfire world and one from the Water and Fire world. The 2 world crystals looked no different and were both top-grade materials for constructing a rule world. In this era without supreme heavenly venerables, building the divine path was extremely difficult. The mysterious master left the method to build the divine path, but most of the materials had to be found by Lin Moyu himself. The arrival of the Do world was a good opportunity. It was a complete world, and he could obtain some materials that had long disappeared from the great world. However, besides giving Lin Moyu the world-destroying fire, the mysterious master seemed to have other plans. This great figure was too mysterious and powerful. Lin Moyu couldn't fathom what he was thinking. Lin Moyu took out the ancient box. The box had no runes, only a layer of extremely faint world-destroying fire. Although faint, it was very powerful because it came from the mysterious master. It had been under the water and fire ancestors' coffin for countless years, nurtured by the flames of the water and fire world, and the world-destroying fire had never weakened. Even a saint couldn't touch this box. Lin Moyu knew that only he could open this box, no one else could. What could it be? With a hint of curiosity and anticipation, Lin Moyu ignited the world-destroying fire on his palm. His world-destroying fire seemed much weaker than the fire on the box, not even on the same level. Even so, Lin Moyu's world-destroying fire became the key to opening the box. With a light click, the box opened. Lin Moyu's eyes narrowed. This is a fire seed. Inside the box was a fire seed. The fire seed looked like the world-destroying fire, entirely gray. But Lin Moyu immediately recognized that this was not the world-destroying fire seed but the seed of the undying flame. The seed was only the size of a fingernail, suspended in the box, emitting a faint aura. The undying law was Lin Moyu's innate law, and the undying flame could be called his innate flame. Many spells had to be driven by the undying flame. Lin Moyu had long mastered the undying flame, even using it for refining and making talismans. But what use could this fire seed have? Why did the mysterious master leave a seed of the undying flame? Lin Moyu's eyes flickered. The fire seed was so inconspicuous, far inferior to his undying flame. The mysterious master wouldn't do anything unnecessary. Since he left it, there must be a reason. Lin Moyu couldn't figure it out, so he chose to trust the mysterious master. Let's give it a try. A flame shot out from his finger, and the undying flame fell on the fire seed. The originally weak and helpless fire seed exploded with a bang upon contact with the undying flame. The fire seed followed Lin Moyu's undying flame and directly entered his body. Lin Moyu instantly turned into a man of fire, with all his clothes burned away by the undying flame. Lin Moyu didn't expect such a change. The small fire seed, which seemed weak, contained such powerful energy. He felt his entire body being burned by the flame, with continuous pain. Lin Moyu didn't panic. The undying flame couldn't harm him. The pain persisted, and Lin Moyu found his physical body gradually strengthening under the burning of the undying flame. His purple gold body had already reached perfection, making his physical body comparable to a high-level god sovereign. In this era where physical cultivation was rare, even saints couldn't match the physical strength of a high-level god sovereign. As Lin Moyu's realm improved, his physical body could continue to strengthen until reaching the peak of the god sovereign. But now, the purple gold body seemed to be breaking through and transforming again. Lin Moyu felt as if some shackles were being burned away by the undying flame, with waves of powerful energy surging from deep within his body. His physical body strengthened again, significantly improving. The purple gold body was covered with a layer of gray, similar to the death power of the undying law but distinctly different. The gray color had a golden glow, exuding a noble aura. Has the purple gold body merged with the undying flame? Lin Moyu was shocked. He felt the power of the undying flame filling his physical body. His physical body was indeed stronger. Lin Moyu felt that with just his physical body, he could now contend with a peak god sovereign. Moreover, the limit had been broken. As his realm improved, his physical body could continue to strengthen, reaching the Bian realm, Saint realm, and even Supreme realm. This inconspicuous undying flame seed contained such miraculous power. The undying flame tempered his physical body and then surged towards his soul. The undying flame seed appeared in his soul world, and a voice echoed simultaneously.